Well said.
Yeah, you can see the UK. I was so shocked seeing that the UK, if you talk bad about, your Royal Highness, the Prime Minister, the new Prime Minister, who it's disgusting. Women, even in the US, women. There was a grandmother praying at the Capitol. She was praying and singing Christian songs, and this woman was arrested. I mean, what is our world coming to?
Yeah, they're arresting a peaceful Jewish protester here that are just like in Toronto, and they're letting they're feeding the Palestinian protester with coffee.
Well, back to the Aurora, Colorado thing. It's just clear that these people aren't very organized, or at least they're not organized like a militia. It's just kind of organized chaos. I mean,
Yeah,
from
they
every
are.
video I've seen, they're just young kids.
They
Really,
are.
what would
But
it take to go and get them out of there?
no, they are. But here's the thing: these people are trained, even from Venezuela. This Tren de Agua, which is a gang there in that's
Hi,
making roots
Alexander.
here. Um, these people will come in and they will bribe you. They'll say, if you want protection, fine, you'll pay your rent, fine, but you also have to pay us $200-300 a month. And I've heard of people who are paying $200-300 a month because they're scared that these people are going to come in with shotguns into their homes. These are people who have an ideology from Venezuela. They're coming here, and they were let in all by the app, this border patrol, this idiotic Biden Harris app where literally it's a fast pass. It's like you go to Disney, you take your kids, you want a fast pass, you go to Disney, you get a fast pass. And these people are getting fast passes into our country. And there's people who work here 40, 50 hours, 60 hours of people that I know in Aurora that work,
What?
and they're literally just barely surviving while these people are coming in and they're getting two, three, $4,000 cash from the government, and I don't think it's fair. It's not fair when our veterans are sleeping on the street, and when we have these gangs and the police are too afraid. They're too afraid to do anything.
I just want to say something real quick. I live right outside Washington D.C. and I went to a Hooters, and there was this guy. I saw him in the parking lot. He parked. He had Colorado plates. He sat next to me at the bar. We were talking, and he left Colorado. He told me that his house got burglarized, and he's taking a break. He said he doesn't even know what his full plan is. He's trying to get his girlfriend to leave, but guys, people are going to start leaving.
We bought a house. We bought a house, and I remember it was in 2019, and the house was $504,000. And right now, with the appraisal, it's gone down. Where you think that houses in Colorado are going up, no, it's going down. You want to know why? Because we're right off of Mississippi Avenue. Mississippi Avenue is where most of these Venezuelans are. They're literally you can't go into a Target. Before we used to go into Target, we used to get our kids clothes. We used to buy clothes. We used to go to Starbucks, have a coffee. But now you get out of there, and these are people asking you for money, or if not, you're getting robbed. And Colorado, Jared Polis, which is our governor, he's also a Jew, or so he says. He's a Jew, and let me tell you what, this guy isn't doing anything. The Democrats that are elected are not taking care of us. They'd rather take care of people who are coming illegally, who are breaking our laws. First of all, not even if you come illegally. I know a lot of illegal people who come and are good people, but these people are coming and they're dangerous to us. They're dangerous to our children. And our house value, even in Aurora, Colorado, the house market is going down instead of going up. Why? Because they become such shitholes. Honestly, beautiful, big, nice, brand new houses are becoming shitholes because of these people. So it's definitely something not just in Colorado, but it's something going on in Houston. It's something going on everywhere. I mean, every
Yeah.
like the President Trump said, every state is a border state now. There's no exception.
Yeah. Well, I just got a piece of breaking news. First of all, I put this X Spaces. I'm streaming it on X and YouTube and also Facebook. So that's kind of cool. I thought, why not, right? Because we got a lot of people in here. Second of all, because of that, Colton has come in. He said he thinks the Hells Angels going to Aurora has been debunked. right? So we have some early news that it's possible that may not be happening, right? So
And you know why they wouldn't come? Because of the democratic leaders that we have. Because the democratic leaders, they don't care about our country. They care about appeasing the national establishment. And it's so funny that this establishment, the DNC, they were talking about Oprah and Michelle Obama. These women are worth billions of dollars together. One is worth 70 million, the other one is 4 million. They don't care about us. They don't care about people. They care about maintaining power. And unfortunately, maintaining power is just going to bring us, and it's already brought us to the brink of hell. The Jewish community in Aurora, which is a big community, they can't walk down the street. Can you imagine your young girls, your ladies walking down the street and being accosted by these men, these young guys, because they're young guys, but these young guys with a mentality that is unwilling to change, because in America we're not the same. We do things different. And um and, and just to close, I know I've been talking a lot, but I'm so passionate about this
you're
because it's happening
fine.
in
You're
my.
fine. I'm thrilled that to tell you the honest God truth that you just happened to roll in here because this is the way this whole Truthslinger News Network project is going. Is that it's just organically the craziest things are happening, and we've been wanting to talk to somebody over there on the ground over there. And so, I mean, I even want you to maybe come on and do an interview with me if you got a webcam, and that'd be great.
I did
No.
ask him that you were probably away, but I did ask him to
Hey,
send his info to you.
absolutely, and I see Waz on here. I know Waz is he's a really big he's a patriot. He's an amazing person. I see a few people here that I know are amazing, but it's the thing that we have to. The media will always lie to us. The media will tell us one thing, and they'll always lie to us. But I'm so passionate about it because it's in my backyard. But it's not just in my backyard, it's coming to a backyard near you, because this is what these people want. These people want to bring all of these lawless people here. We don't know who the hell is coming in. We don't know except from an app. We have an app. The app says, "Are you scared of going to your home country?" Yes. And it scares me. It scares me for children. It scares me for women. It scares me. Jocelyn, this little young girl here in Texas. I'm actually in Houston at the moment. And this little girl here in Houston, she was raped. Um, and it gets me. It gets me because I have my daughter in Colorado. My daughter, literally, where we walk to synagogue. What were to happen if my little girl, what were to happen if other little girls, it doesn't matter, Jewish, non-Jewish, what if these little girls are walking to church on a Sunday, and these little girls just want to go and they want to worship, and these people are coming, and honestly, it's a sick reality that these people want to bring them. These people want to just bring this country to the knees. And what infuriated me the most, guys, was when I heard one of the Colorado sheriffs in Aurora, one of our sheriffs, and she said, "Oh, this is a myth." But for us who live in Colorado, for us who live in Aurora, for us who have homes in Aurora, who have children in Aurora, this is not a myth. This is something we see every day, where we walk into a supermarket and we can't go out without being accosted by people telling us that they want money, that they need this, they need that. And this is something nationwide. Unfortunately, Aurora has gotten really bad, to the point that you don't recognize Aurora, to the point where our little girls can't go out by themselves. You really can't. And
We got
I
Jeff that's got his hand up, I think.
absolutely, yep.
But I wanted to ask, just wanted to remember everybody, thank you for being here, and go give a like and follow to our speakers if you may.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. We definitely want to do that. We want to make sure to do that because we got a great group of people in here, all definitely patriots. The people that are in our circle, well vetted. And you tell you, it's amazing. It's like we're the Avengers, man. We got a set of skills in here that are just, the Truth Slinger project. It's really a project, man. It's not about me. It's not about any one of us individually. It's this group of people that I think God is bringing together, right? That's going to save this nation. This is the 3%, right? Coming together.
Kamala said we needed to find the root cause, right? Sorry.
Man, you just said that, and I just got goosebumps, man. That was pretty powerful.
Sorry about that.
They are the root cause.
We are the root cause. In other words, what I meant by that, I'm sorry to interject like I did there, Tim.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
But hey everyone. By the way, I'm Jeff. Uh, I wasn't sure who it was that was it Joshua who's living in Aurora. I
Yes.
Yeah,
hope
just
you're
right in
okay.
Aurora.
Okay, yeah. Stay safe, man. You stay safe over there. That place apparently is erupting, and yeah, I have been hearing a lot of talk of course, God and what is happening and all this, and everybody dances around the word holy war. They don't necessarily use it, and I think it needs to come mainstream. A lot of Christians are being persecuted blatantly right now on our soil,
Yep.
and it's terrible. It's a shame. It's a shame to be seeing this happening to the country I grew up in. We all grew up in.
Well, I think one of the things, Jeff, is that to me, I think that the country is unrecognizable because it's the people that are like, around, our age,
It's
right?
true,
That
very
are,
true.
60 years old. And when we grew up, I mean, yes, we had the rogue, razor blade in the apple stories and stuff like that. And, the
Yeah,
stranger
yeah.
danger and shit like that.
But
But I
we
mean,
were able to walk around and get candy from our neighbors.
yeah, right,
We can't do that
exactly. I
anymore.
mean, and the country was, we trusted each other. We weren't at each other's damn throats, right? From a racial standpoint and all this division and also this sexual crap. None of this nonsense,
Yeah,
man. It was like life was simpler. Now,
it
were we any
was.
less deceived back then? No, the machine was cranking in the background to tear it all down to the ground.
And here's the thing, though, Tim. When you bring that up, and I'm glad you brought that up too, was the fact that we were young back then. We had no clue that we were being manipulated,
Right,
even then.
right.
Okay, I mean, we were because heck, you got to realize, it was 1960s. We were both born in '63. Okay, so it's one of those where our seven or late '60s and '70s, we were dumb little kids riding our bicycles. We had no clue that we were being manipulated by watching Sesame Street, and stuff like that. So, but back then, the CIA wasn't really embedded that much into our media yet. They were still analyzing things and growing. Trying to recruit, bring people in, and analyze stuff. That's what this intelligence agency does. We didn't know that. We were just kids, and now we us workers, the laborers of the world, of the nation, that we just kept our mouth shut, just kept going. 30, 40 years, 50 years now, and we're seeing our country, yeah, being ripped out from underneath of us.
No, well, nobody believed in the slippery slope. They all made fun of it.
Exactly,
Right. And I mean,
exactly.
and I think that even, even the homosexuals, I mean, this is a little off the course. Quit. You're beating the hell out of your mic over there, man. Don't hit your
Oh,
mic,
I'm
Jeff.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's, man, mute your, and when you're not talking, if you guys can mute your mics, that's really helpful in the space too, as well. So we can keep it nice and clear. We can hear each other.
Is it
But
doing it now? Because
no, you're
I know
fine.
what's
You're good.
happening when I
Yeah,
do
you're
it. But
good.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that this has been marching along, and I think much the reason that we are where we're at is because we weren't paying attention. We thought, oh, it's never going to go as far as we think it is. But I mean, even the gay people are pissed off now. They're like, look,
Yeah.
oh, we just wanted to get married and not get dragged behind a car, right? Wrapped up in a chain, right, or hung from a
Right.
tree or some shit.
Exactly. I noticed that too. It's like with
And I wanted to make clear. I was born and raised here in the U.S., but I'm an Israeli soldier veteran. I just came back in December. The
Hey,
end of December, I came back from Israel,
hey, Jeff,
and
mute your mic, Jeff, please. Thanks.
Yeah, Jeff is muted now.
All right, thank you.
and I just came back. I came back in December, and let me tell you one thing: I'm an American and I'm a patriot. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I went into the Israeli army because I knew that they needed so much help, and anything that I could do, even though I might not be the best, the fittest, but Let me tell you, in Israel, whenever I got called, I'm an accountant, but I got called, and on the ninth, the attack happened on the 7th, and on the ninth, I was there in Israel. And from all accounts, even from Palestinians, where the gays were being thrown off of roofs, literally, if they were homosexual, they would be, not, I might not agree. I might not agree with the ideology, but, that these men were thrown off of roofs or they had honor killings and things of that nature is and the thing is that it's not even to defend Israel or Palestine, it's to defend the United States, because our way of life, regardless if we disagree, I mean, Jeff, you can be a Christian, I can be a Jew, but we're brothers, the host, Truth, and then Kenny, we can disagree on many things, but we're brothers, we're Americans, and that's what unites us. We're Americans regardless, we're blood, we're family. I see all my Americans like blood. I see all my
Yeah, we're all
Americans.
neighbors. We're all neighbors.
Exactly. We all live together and we all peacefully live together, And while being there and while being boots in Gaza, the disaster and it was just, I mean, I can't even explain because I grew up born and raised in America. Here I am growing up in New Jersey, born and raised in a middle class community, and I saw so much destruction, but so much hate because of an ideology. And this is an ideology that they're bringing here to the United States. Whenever I hear these people, or an imam in Chicago called for the death of Americans, or an imam in wherever the hell in the United States, and I'm like, what the hell are we doing? What the hell are we thinking? Bringing these people into our country to literally sabotage our way of life. Our country, our democracy, has endured many years because we're free people, because we have our freedoms. And unfortunately, our freedoms are being taken away. And I feel, I really do feel. Aside from this, I really feel like God is bringing his people together, Jews, non Jews, Jews, Christians. We're all the same. We're all the same. God is bringing us together. Judeo Christian values, that's where our nation was founded. Unfortunately, even like I said in Aurora, it's unrecognizable. There is no recognition. I don't recognize Aurora this way. It was never this way under President Trump. It was never this way under any other leadership. But these people are destroying
No,
our country.
you're absolutely right with that. And, I would like to add that, we don't even know what those Venezuelan gang, if they have even a religion or any type of moral. Like you said, you've been there, you've seen that.
They have communism, brother. They have communism.
Exactly, I know Sidewall has his hand up. What do you got to say, brother?
Yeah, I want to agree with Joshua. Islam is completely incompatible with America. I don't know how. I do not know how Wisconsin has dealt with it for so long, but it is
100%.
absolutely incompatible with American ideals, American values. I mean, these people are barbaric. They're really barbaric how they treat their women and children.
Well,
It's
I
just
can
it's
add
disgusting.
this, man. Like I'm not a very religious person in a sense that I didn't read the Bible or anything, but I was tired of listening to all these people talking about, oh, Islam is this, and then you got to the other side, no, Islam is a religion of peace. So I did my own little research, and I'm going to tell you honestly, it took me 15 minutes to be completely grossed out reading the Quran.
Absolutely.
Like not even like, and I've read passage of the Bible, and it's food for thoughts. But the Quran, it's like, what is this? Like you just look
Mhm.
for the Quran and what they say about women's. There you go. You're done.
Absolutely, absolutely. Women are the very fabric of our life. Women, what would we do? Men, what would we do without women? Women are the very fabric of our life. Women, I mean, they dictate everything, everything in our life. And when we see, I saw a video today on X, and I saw a video of a woman, she was trying to eat something, and she had to literally like pull her veil back before she can eat without showing any skin, because they say that if a woman shows skin, I mean, let me tell you, I'm a fan of women. I love women. I think women are gorgeous. And
Well, yeah.
why
I,
couldn't they show their faces? You know, women are beautiful.
because these men in there, okay, they have no self-discipline. Okay, that's not something they don't have no control. For them, if they see skin, that means, she's available or she's wanting it. That's why, when you hear like people, like, they say, oh well, they raped a 12 years old. Well, she wanted it, she was okay with it. Why? Because she was in shorts? Like, no, little girls here can walk in shorts. They can put a swimsuit to go to the pool. They don't have to wear a fucking drape and drawn. Because you cannot control your hormones, your manhood, right? I mean, like,
I think a large part of it has to do with the culture that they're raised in a society where all the women are wearing beekeeper suits, so that when they're invited to these European nations with white, beautiful white women, they can't control themselves because all they've ever seen is women wearing burqas. So now they see these women in their glory, really, and they just can't control themselves. I mean,
Have
and
you have you
thank you, Muhammad, for being such a good, a good contributor to humanity.
Well, sidewalk scriptures, you know that Muhammad married a 6-year-old named Elisha, and
I do.
he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old. So what can we expect of a perverted religion as this? What can we expect of people, or of people who are, whenever I see this, honestly, it just makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me think of my girls. It makes me think of my children. And I say, what the hell is wrong with humanity? Why the hell would why would hell would the best country, the most amazing democracy in the world, want to bring these people here and would want to put our children in danger? Let me tell you, one American child that I can save, one American child that any of us can save, is a blessing. And unfortunately, our way of life is going to be extinct if we don't control this. But not even here, Europe. I was just followed. I'm so excited, and I always say I'm so excited because I was just followed by. He's from the right. He is very moderate, but he's from the right. His name is Santiago. He's from Europe. He's from Spain, and he's the front runner to be the presidential nominee in the next elections.
Welcome, welcome,
And I've
welcome.
spoken to him, and he
I think
says,
you guys can
listen,
hear
in
me out there,
Europe, in Spain,
but I don't think
these
Spaces
people are
can. So
coming here. They're raping our women in Spain. They're raping their women. They're creating havoc. And honestly, it's not even just in Spain. It's in France. It's everywhere. And that's why we really need to stand together. And honestly, we really need to fight against it because I believe this is demonic. This is not only spiritual, but this is very demonic.
I agree, and I think it's going to take for our temporal reality. We need Donald Trump. I mean, he's the only one that's willing to pull the trigger on mass deportations, increasing the bulwark against this
thank
radical
you.
Islam movement. And
You
I
have to
mean,
talk for the
with
mic again.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm walking around my house. But yeah, what I was saying was, for our temporal reality for now, obviously, I'm a Christian, so I bow to Jesus Christ. But for our temporal reality, we really need to get on our knees and pray that Donald Trump somehow pulls this out, because you know how the left is. They're going to do everything they can to keep him from becoming president.
Absolutely.
And it's just sad that we're in this place right now. I do want to tell you a story that lends credibility to what you were saying, Joshua. Is that back in 2020, I'm from Maine, as a lot of us are, and I was down in Kennedy Park in Lewiston, Maine, and we were doing sidewalk scriptures, which, for those who don't know, it's just sharing the word of God in chalk on the ground in colors so that people see it. It's a form of evangelism. However, we were doing some psalms and down in Kennedy Park, and there was a bunch of people there. The very next night, a pack of Muslims, Islam, went through, and a bunch of people got stabbed down there in 2020. So I'm very aware, and thank God he kept me safe during that. But yeah, I'm very aware of the dangers of Islam.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I wanted to interject here and kind of just take a pause for a moment, a little intermission to give you some news. We just had Northern Dissenter, Ian. I'm sorry, what's Ian's last name?
Fisher.
Ian Fisher. He went to Bangor today. And I don't know if you happen to miss that, but we went live and down to the homeless community in Bangor. And that was really interesting because we got a chance to talk to, well, Ian and his son, who've been ministering down there, regularly to go down there to the homeless and help pass out food. And the Mansion Church down there, we got to talk to Pastor Terry, and he told us everything that they're doing over there, which is absolutely amazing. They have a warming center for 5 whole months over the winter, and they feed people, and they give them blankets and sleeping bags, and they let them sleep on the floor, and they feed them a hot meal in the morning, okay? Now, this is the kind of stuff where we're going to make changes locally, right? And we're bringing a spotlight on that here at Truthslinger News, and I just wanted to let you know that we are literally supported by viewers like you. So if you're enjoying this conversation here and you just happen to have a little jingle laying around, some of the hosts up here and co-hosts, we might have some tip buttons on our pages. You can feel free to use that if you want to send some love our way. And we're going to be supporting Pastor Terry. We're going to go visit him. We're going to go out there and further that relationship. And I think we're going to do some volunteering there, and we're going to bring you all of that content, right? You're going to definitely want to stay tuned for us there. So just wanted to interject that. But I think this is a great conversation, man. I love this. This is people getting together that are the ones that are disagreeable, right? We're the ones that are going to make the difference. We're going to figure out how to dig our heels in and bring this damn beast to a grinding halt, hopefully, right? So anybody else want to take a step up to the microphone, you just come right up and request to be a speaker. Put that hand up there, shake it around a lot, and the crow will bring you up, and you can have a turn at the mic. So anybody else want to talk? Just
Absolutely.
yeah.
And just a reminder too, like we're all here and we're just trying to be peaceful. Everybody that wants to come up to take the mic, freedom of speech. Just reminder to everyone, that our freedom of speech always is can be expressed without attacking each other. We're all humans. We all have a lot of brain, and we can use it politely, which is so far so good. But just a note, if anybody is thinking about coming and be a troll, you will be removed. So thank you. Just to make sure people, can come up and you feel safe. You won't be trolled here.
I just want to say one last thing. I just want to say tomorrow I'm going to go to church and I'm going to be a prayer warrior. I'm going to pray for our country. I'm going to pray for everyone for a resolution for what's going on. And and I really feel I really feel strongly in the power of prayer. And I think that's what we all can do.
Yeah, amen to that. I agree with you, and that's
Amen.
definitely we should not underestimate the power of prayer because it's
Thank
real,
you, brother.
man. It works. Okay, I prayed for 2 years for God to send me an army of people, and look at the army amassing now. We've got like I don't know 30, 40 people in this thing. I don't even know how to get the number, but it's a lot of people, man. I'm shocked to see everybody listening. And it's awesome because it just means that we have people that are listening that care, that they're fired up by this and they're thinking and they have ideas and they're coming to bring them to the table because this is the only way, And the Truth Slinger Project is a big tent, man. As long as you are not antichrist, you're welcome here, right? Seriously. As long as we're all fighting the good fight, pulling in the right direction, I'm not going to split hairs, right? It's a little late for that, right? We got to get our asses in gear and get together where we can agree. Which is why I love the whole RFK ticket, right? That whole unity party action stuff going on. I really love that kind of stuff. What say you?
Yeah, howdy, everybody. Zombie here from Maine. I saw the interview, Truth, with Kenny Crow. Very good, very good.
Thanks,
I
man.
like the Rebel News, like roving reporter in Canada. But Kenny, you did an excellent job. What I just wanted to comment on the men that are in this space, women too, the people that are here and giving glory to God for this movement, for where they are in the place in their lives. You're all acknowledging that God had a plan for you that placed you where you are now to be effective. and thank God that you're heeding the call, that you're listening to the Spirit, that you're going to be energized, and you're going to go out and do what God is asking you to do. It's a lot. It's real easy, like you keep pointing out, to sit at home, let others do things for you. It is not the time for that, as we all know. This is 100% spiritual warfare, in my opinion. These people, some of them, I think are even a little step further than maybe like satanically inspired, like maybe downright possessed.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
this it's a lot more than just a bunch of um, idiots and retards making bad decisions for our lives. This has an evil feeling, and this is, I believe, this is the time to act. If there was ever a time that you felt called to do something by God, I know you feel it now. Heed that call and step up, because this is what we're here for. That's why we've been staying under the radar. That's why we've been just looking for the truth, just to know what's coming to prepare for our family, like food and all this other. More than that, God is requiring us to do something, and we all feel it. You guys are stepping up to the plate, and it's inspirational to other people, and to have your stories, and to see you guys go out there, do things. It just motivates everybody else. So I just want to thank you for heeding God's call in your life. Continue to go to church, continue to pray, whatever. If you don't go to church, that's fine. Um, I pray for everybody in the community often. I spend most of my day in prayer. If this is my account, if you have any requests, as anonymous as you want to be, I will totally pray for you. Um, just keep on fighting the good fight, because I personally believe we don't have that much longer to fight it anyway.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's good to have a prayer warrior in the house. And, there's stuff going on right now. I tell you that it just, it's so supernatural, I can't explain it. This morning, Van and I had, huh? What's that? We had a great time this morning over coffee, and we just talked in the spirit for like 2 hours, and I felt like I've known the man for years, right? And right before we left, I just looked over my shoulder and I said, "Man, that was good. That was really, really good." And I just about got in the car, and I realized that there was unfinished business, and
And then we prayed. Amen. I really appreciated that, by the way.
yeah, and that was, I was like, because you wanted to open in prayer, and I just hit me, man. There's unfinished business, man, and I prayed with you, and it was probably one of the most sincere prayers I've ever made in my whole life. And the comfort level and the ease that I'm walking now in the faith is because people are just coming to this project. Like, we got somebody from Aurora here tonight with a huge, great perspective. We've got all sorts of different, people in here that are coming together and making a difference and trying to be. And that's what the whole idea, is that I'm trying to show people that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, guys. Okay. I'm building a whole television news network, man. And I'm doing it with like almost no resources and almost no money. Okay. But I have a vision and I know what it's supposed to look like. And the other thing that I wanted to tell you is we're in the middle of spiritual warfare. Okay. And I have a book that I really want to share with you guys, right? And it's called Make War. And it's a Christian soldier's battle manual. And it's not published on Amazon yet, but you know what? I'm going to give it to you in its pre-published stage. Because at this point, I don't expect to make a whole lot of money. And I just hope that maybe someday you'll buy a copy of it when it gets out there, even if you have read it, right? And I'll send you a signed copy then, right? So, because it's time now, because we have to understand, it's 22 points or 23 points, basically, that the Bible is full of language of war. Okay, this is spiritual warfare at its most basic level. And this book is way more than just the whole armor of God, okay? It's all about the deception of the enemy. It's about understanding that we're not supposed to be fraternizing with the enemy, and on and on and on and on. So if anybody's interested in that, you just email me to realtruthslinger@gmail.com, right? And I will make sure you get a copy of that. and you can read that, give me your feedback on it, and maybe you can give me some suggestions anyway before I get it published, right? So anyway, I just wanted to say that. But thank you very much for being in the house, and the power of prayer is amazing. Things are happening here. Man, people are coming to this project, flocking to this project because they see a light. They see people. And this whole thing started to grow when I realized the focus here needs to be lifting up all of these other people. And I need to replicate myself, just like make disciples, right? And so we needed an army of truth slingers. And God is delivering that army on a daily basis, and I'm so grateful for his providence.
Amen to that.
Yeah, and regarding your interview with the Mansion Church earlier, I know that church very well. That's actually the church I was a deacon at. I know Terry very well. So in any way I can help, helping those homeless in the Bangor area, it is a passion of mine and many fellow brothers in Christ, because I was there. I was a drug addict in that very same camp at one point. And yeah, it kind of touches a string in my heart. I know Ian and his brother Ross very well. I went to school with them.
Well, I have to say at this point, interject something, and you can see that I'm a kind of a tough guy. I come off as a tough guy. I love a good fight, right? But I mean, in truth, I'm like really kind of soft and gooey on the inside. And I'll tell you that I have probably not experienced as many spontaneous tears, right, with other people as I've been sharing my life and pouring myself out to people both online as well as some of the offline stuff that we've been doing. I've been talking to Crow and some others. And I mean, I had some guy, man, I was just talking to him, and apparently what I said was so moving to him that he broke down right there in the middle of the studio meeting that we were having, and he spontaneously prayed right there in the spirit for me, and I was just blown away. And so there's definitely a move of God going on here. And whatever you call your God, right, like I said, I think we can all agree that there's a battle between good and evil going on here on a very fundamental level.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I wanted to say thank you very much, John B, for the kind word. Like I honestly, gonna be honest, I haven't watched any of that stuff. I just can't figure to watch myself. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it to spread a word. I've always lived in a sense that I could make a change in people's life. I have made a change in few people's life, like major changes. Like a few years ago, I raised money to send a man I didn't even know to Starbase, Boca Chica, Texas, to see Starship. It was I've done it because he was the person that was the least capable of realizing his goal at the time. Like the power of good is so powerful than one man just sitting down at my place. I didn't even have to leave my house. And I've raised $3,500, and I sent 2 men for 2 weeks across United States to Texas, and they saw a Starship SN-15 land. And the only thing I really got from it was a lot of knowledge, but I got a piece of Starship SN-11 sent to me from Texas. So I thought I would never be able to see Starship, so I realized someone else's dream, and my own dream came true. I didn't get to see Starship. I'm holding Starship in my hand, and I'm talking about it right now. This was the gift, and it was the best thing I could get. So sharing the good words, I have for a long time says, believe there's good, be the good. So that's all it is. Get out of your comfort zone. If you want to take the mic, come up, speak with us. We're all here to exchange. And thank you very much, everybody that's come up and give you a little 2 cents and your opinion. I really appreciate it.
I just jump right in before Zombie Nation. He's got his hand up. I don't know if he wants to say anything again, but just to let you know, excuse me, through the wonders of modern technology, I am restreaming this on our X channel, as well as YouTube and Facebook. And we have currently about 30, 40 people additionally listening and watching what we're doing over here in the spaces that has 50 or 60 people in here. So this is pretty cool stuff, man. I want you to, understand that we're not just sitting around here entertaining ourselves. This is generating ideas. This is igniting passions. This is waking people up. And this is a call to all of you out there that if you want to have a podcast on the Truthslinger News Network, you contact me and I will produce you, and you can save 2 years of time trying to figure out how to do a stinking podcast. And it comes along with being part of the Truthslinger News Network brand, right? So seriously, I mean, this is something, if you got something to say, and you have a pretty decent, presence, and we vet you, and we like you, we want to get you out there, and we want to get you saying what you have to say. And I don't really care what that's about. Like I said, as long as it's not Antichrist, you want to talk about the carnivore diet, you want to talk about health, fitness, you want to talk about, unity, you want to talk about homeschooling. I don't care, right?
Can we talk about cookies? Because I want cookies.
Cookies? If you're baking, I'm sure, man. So anyway, all right. So anyway, yeah. So seriously, that's an open invitation. And don't forget, on Friday nights, okay, I think we're going to continue to do this. We're going to do open mic on Friday nights, Truthslinger Live. Anybody wants to wander into the studio that's got a camera, webcam, and a mic, you want to sit down and you want to mix it up with the Truthslinger, then you know where we're going to be, right? Probably sometime around Friday night, somewhere around 9, 10, that area right there. We don't want to get started too early, right? And so, yeah, I definitely don't want to miss that, right? So,
Yeah, that sounds wonderful, man. I also want to encourage everybody that's listening and remind everybody that even though the world is getting so wicked and so dark, let this be an encouragement for you that it shows us the goodness. I mean, it's really a dividing line. The wickedness that has occurred for the past 3.5, 4 years, it really is driving us into the arms of Jesus Christ and the one true living God. I mean, for those of us, I assume everybody here loves goodness and loves, truth and righteousness and justice. I mean, that's why we're here. We want justice. And just let it be an encouragement that this wickedness, God knows, and it breaks his heart. I'm sure it does. And as bad as we feel, he feels it infinitely more. And I mean, it's just driving us, the true believers in the one true living God who sits upon the throne over all the entire reality. And yeah, I just want to encourage you guys.
well, and I would also just also admonish too, like in case that's necessary, is that the Bible says in the end, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, right? So I just want you to understand that there is a reckoning coming, and there is a time when either God is going to come back here in the form of Jesus again, coming back to judge, or you're going to go meet the judge one way or another. And none of us are guaranteed tomorrow, right? And the way things are it's getting uglier all the time, right? Now, I'm not saying you should buy a hell insurance card. I'm just telling you what the truth of the Bible says, that we can't be reconciled to God without the infinite blood of the holy Jesus that was going to get us payment for our infinite separation between us and an infinitely thrice holy God, right? So that's the way it has to be. And the Bible says what I couldn't get by was, no man comes to Jesus, but the Father draw him. It's just as simple as that, right? And so, and he's going to call, and the people that are supposed to hear him are going to hear him. So, but don't run away. We don't sit here and talk about Jesus all day. We talk about solving problems and trying to take back our country. I just happen to think a Christian ethic and an ethos, and I think everybody would agree that even cultural Christianity, we need that in our country. Right? That we need people that believe in the honor system. We need people that are basically trying to walk a path of sanctification rather than be lost in sin and debauchery, right, running our country. And the sad part is that I think that salt and light has diminished in our country, which is why we're at where we're at today. So, and I think what we're seeing is an awakening. I do. I think we're seeing a spiritual awakening, clearly. And you know what? Don't worry about it if you're not there and you can't call him Jesus Christ as Lord yet, right? If you just agree that, well, I think there's a God out there somewhere, right? Be agnostic on it. That's fine. No problem. Not right now, right? You just got to see what's going on. Eventually, you're going to say, man, what's up with Tim God? Because God, that guy over there is on fire, man. And I want what he has, right? Attraction rather than promotion, baby. You understand what I'm saying?
I wanted to say, well, I agree with Truthslinger. By the way, I literally just got word that there are two people killed here in Colorado. Well, in Colorado, I'm in Houston currently. There's just two people killed in Colorado. And it is also believed to be a Venezuelan gang. It was in an apartment complex in Aurora. And honestly, it's devastating for me to hear that. I mean, I've been here for 2 days and I'm going back tomorrow. And just to think about these things going on in our country, we never would have thought. And one of the things that I think and I love that President Trump says is that he makes that these thugs and these gang members, they make our thugs and our gang members look like saints. That he makes them look good. Unfortunately, yeah, two people on Mississippi Avenue in Colorado were just killed. And it is believed that they were because of a gang dispute. And it's so sad. It is so sad that this is going on in our country, in our America, the home of the brave, the home of the free. And we have to end this. We really do. I really do believe that there is an awakening going on between Christians and Jews. I believe there's an awakening going on, not even between Christians and Jews, but between everybody, because we realize our America and America the way it's supposed to be, and the way it was founded on Judeo Christian values that weren't on values of killing. And I really do believe that there is an awakening going on between white, Hispanic, Black, Asian, Indian, everybody, because we see what our way of life was and what our way of life is becoming now. And I mean, it's something that we really can't sustain. Our country cannot sustain 4 years of this. Our country can't sustain 4 years of lawlessness. Our country can't sustain 4 years of the killing, even of the unborn killing, the unborn children that are being killed, and a lot of people don't talk about it, but there's so many unborn children that are being killed. And I really do believe there's an awakening going on in our country. Unfortunately, two more people have died in Colorado, and honestly, I'm praying for their families. And
So they just died like recently. That's
they yeah
breaking
they
news
just
kind of deal.
yeah yeah they just died recently.
Okay,
I just got word from my wife, and she just told me that they literally just mentioned it on the news that two people were killed at an apartment complex on Mississippi Avenue in Aurora, which is
that's one of the
probably.
that's one of the complex. That's Mississippi Avenue, isn't it? One that's been taken over, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it is about,
Two
let me
people
tell you
just
what,
died.
I have a
Two people
beautiful
just
home and it
died in
is probably
Aurora.
about
So there's
4 minutes
violent
away from
gangs.
my house. So when people think like this tugs at your heart because this is right near where I'm raising my family, where I bought a home, where I thought I bought a beautiful home, and
Really good.
it really tugs at your heart because this is your family, this is your wife, this is your children who are at stake here, and this is why we have to elect good leadership in this country. We cannot go through 4 more years with lawlessness and with ungodliness.
I one of the things I wanted to just say when we're talking about ecumenicism here, and that's just that fancy word just means that we work together on the things that we can agree on, right? And so spiritually speaking, and we all I think we can all agree on the 10 commandments. Let's just start there, right? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife, right? We can agree on all these things, right? And so I think that we need to start there. And again, as John Adams said, that this Constitution is only suitable to govern a sufficiently religious and moral people. And so, if we don't have people that are going to, because there's not enough cops to sit on every single corner at every single stop sign that we're supposed to stop at, right? There's not enough people to enforce those laws, right? So, it's one of those things where we have to be on the honor system, right? And when you get a situation where people no longer respect that standing law, and then we've lost faith in all of our institutions, then we're in a really bad way. And unfortunately, much like in the Old Testament, right? Much before times of revival, God generally uses the enemies of Israel as the rod of his anger in order to chastise. And I think that we've been wicked so long that I think we can expect a chastisement before that awakening really is going to happen, or it's going to happen simultaneously and perhaps as a result of that chastisement. I don't know. What say you?
Well, I believe it because Sodom and Gomorrah, and as a Jew speaking, Sodom and Gomorrah became very wicked. Sodom and Gomorrah became a place of wickedness, a place of unholiness, a place of dislike to God. And we already know what happened with Sodom and Gomorrah. But furthermore, we know what happened to Lot's wife. Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt. Why? Because she disobeyed God and she looked back. And unfortunately, there's so many people that are like Lot's wife, and there's so many people who are turning to a Sodom and Gomorrah. And when I see the unholiness and just everything, I know the Bible says, and I know the Christian Bible says that the right will be called wrong and the wrong will be called right. And unfortunately, it is so true. We're calling the right wrong and the wrong right, and we're seeing such a dysfunction in our society, such and as bad as it sounds, an abomination, which is what we're seeing in our culture, where they call a cat, if you identify as a cat, you're a cat. If you identify as a woman, you're a woman, even though you're a man.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
unfortunately, I believe that day of reckoning is at hand. I really do believe it. I believe that God is calling us all into account. And it's unfortunate that our leaders have turned away from the Judeo Christian values of our country, which our country was founded. Our country became a blessing and a blessing to the nations because it was a Judeo Christian founded nation. Unfortunately, nowadays we are living in times that no one recognizes. My grandfather he used to say, son, there's going to be a day where there's going to be 10 women fighting over one guy because there's not going to be any more men left. And I truly 100% agree. I don't know if anyone else's grandfather had that saying, but nowadays I see and I'm like, wow, he's really saying the truth. There's so much ungodliness and there's so many things that are going against our values as Americans, our values. Um, and unfortunately, this is really destroying our country. Our country is being ripped to shreds, and honestly, we have no choice but to turn back to God. That's what we need, to turn back to God.
Yeah, I would suggest to anybody out there that you want to know exactly what is going on. I think that you can get a good, concise idea of exactly what is happening in our culture by going and reading Romans chapter 1, right? And if you're scared of reading the Bible, don't worry. It won't burn you when you touch it, right? You can read one
Are
chapter.
you sure?
Yeah, it won't. It'll be all right. You'll be fine.
Because last
Um,
time I wear a glove, so
right. So
Well, you
anyway,
also have to consider if it does, then maybe you should be reading it.
yeah. So yeah,
good point.
yeah, right. So, but yeah, I would challenge you to read it, all of you, to go and get a concise idea of exactly what spiritually is happening and how that's fleshing itself in our culture, right? Just the wickedness that's still going on. So, Zombie Nation has something to say. So, why don't you step up and say what you got to say?
Yeah, if anybody wants to come up, I'll bring you up. Just send a request. More than welcome.
Yep. And if you guys put your hands down if you don't want to speak, so that we don't go barking up the wrong trees there, right? So, the more the merrier. Anybody else got something to say? We're not sure. We're still trying to verify the story, whether the Hell's Angels are rolling on that direction.
Well, we got confirmation by Joshua that at least the gang, there's some gangs fighting there for sure. So, what is it all about? We're not sure yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I appreciate what everyone had to say. That just covered a big, broad spectrum of topics. I really like Joshua's spirit. very good truth about the Romans 1. We totally are in. Anyone that reads the Bible, we don't want to make this a total, complete religious thing, but people that read the Bible, we're under a Romans judgment is what we're saying, because I mean, just the sheer fact of the amount of kids that are killed every day and have been killed by this, you know, it's bad. But therein lies the rub, as far as so the mainstream media and the Democrat Party and all of the alphabet agencies have engineered this situation where you can't protect an old lady without you going to prison for the one that's violent. Um, that's a big deal for me, because I don't leave my house, because if very much, because what if we're in that situation? I know God would call me to defend someone, and what if we do? We know, that's your family's livelihood. It's everything. You'll end up in prison. I really don't like the way that society has the deck stacked against us, but I guess that's just to be expected in this at this time.
Well,
But does anyone have any feelings on how to act like that? Like, what if you
well,
see a bunch,
zombie. Here's what I'm gonna say. Here in Canada, the right to defend yourself has been revoked a while back. We are, like I was telling. I think I can't remember who it was the other day, but I think it was exactly Tim. I was saying, like if the first time somebody kick in the door, by the time he kicks in the door first, I got to run to the safe. Well, I got to grab a set of key because the guns are locked with key. The trigger is locked with a key lock. I got to run to the safe, unlock the guns. It's just like, well, but you're dead. And yeah, like there's no right to defend ourselves here in Canada. How we handled it. Well,
It's
right now we don't have what's going on in America, but if it's coming really close to it, we don't know what to do.
Well, I tell you, my personal feeling, and I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this, and I've also actually considered slightly pacifism and actually giving up my weapons, because I've been I'm not there yet, right? But
no.
no, I'm not there yet. Trust me, I'm not. You can still see the AR on the wall behind me if you're watching on X. But anyway, no. But I'm
I
thinking,
get it, dude.
and so I was thinking about, if like, for example, this guy Mari Emmanuel, right, in Australia, right, the guy jumped up and tried to stab him with a switchblade. He was illegal, and the switchblade didn't open, right, and so. I thought to myself, man, that was really cool. I mean, we saw a miracle. Like, we saw it happen live, like live streaming, and yeah, it's like the Trump thing, right? But it wouldn't have been quite as cool if he would have just whipped out a 357 Magnum from under his robe and just put one in between the guy's eyes, right? It just would have been like, you know what I'm saying? But that being said, I do carry a pistol. And I've thought about that, like what happens, because we saw the McCloskeys, right, who defended themselves and they got their weapons taken away and they got indicted, right? And that was all because it was a mob on their porch or on their front lawn saying, we're going to murder you and rape your dog and sleep in your bed and
Yeah,
all
and
that.
they were lawyers.
Yeah. They were lawyers, right? And they took the damn guns away and they tried to put them in jail and all that. And it all worked out good in the end. But God, when the weight of the government comes down upon you, right, then it becomes really hard to defend yourself unless you have unlimited resources, right? Which most of us don't have. And so, yeah, there is that question. And I think that, I have hero complex, right? I think a lot of men do. I mean, we think about what would happen. We're constantly looking over the corner. When we sit in a restaurant, we sit in places just naturally, and so we're always looking around and thinking, and it's just the way we are. And we also think about Rome like all the time, right? And so, but that's just the way we're wired. But I thought, what I'm going to do probably is I'm going to get physical, like I'm going to go kinetic with before I shoot anybody. I'm probably going to try and beat somebody up. I'm probably going to hit him in the face with a milk carton, right? Or I'm going to just grab him by the throat, because I like the fleshy part of the throat. It's good. I like it.
Well,
Oh,
the
Yeah.
Bible the Bible says there is a time to tear apart, a time to sew together. There's a time to be silent, a time to speak. There's a time of love and a time to hate. And there is a time for war and a time for peace. But I tell you what, that time for war is any time that our values and our families are seen. You know, as a Jew, one of the probably one of the biggest fights that I see in the Bible is with the Amalekites, where they tried to come against
It's
one of the
Joshua.
kings, and they said that they put their best worshipers aligned. They aligned them up front, and the worshipers started to worship, and then these people got
Flamethrower.
confused and they killed each other. But I really, aside from not believing in war, I believe there is a time where we have to protect each other. And as I see with Canada, and the Prime Minister in Canada, who's become such a bad person, such a despicable person,
You
even
mean
in
you mean
Mr.
Justin
Trudeau.
Trudeau? Fuck,
Mr.
man. Like,
Trudeau.
yeah, yeah. This is like one of those that as soon as he opens his mouth, my ear doesn't bleed. No, it's like you just like stab my brain and both heads. Like I lose 100 IQ points. So if someone is at 80, they go under.
Uh,
Exactly. I saw Trudeau church. He closed churches, places of worship, and even here in the U.S. where they did the same thing. And I'm like, man, we're really not dealing with something in the natural realm. We're dealing with something spiritual. We're dealing with people who want to shut not only churches, but they want to shut the voices of God. They want to shut these things. And that's why I'm praying. I really am praying that everywhere in the US, in Canada, everywhere in the world, that there's more voices of God in Parliament, there's more voices of God in Congress, because we really need these voices, um, aside from these people who just want to tear open religion and just want to bring communism. Communism is the first step. These people want to bring ungodliness to our countries, because if they bring ungodliness, they can control us. If they bring ungodliness to the U.S. Capitol, which they have, but they haven't done it completely, they can bring ungodliness to our country, and that's what we're living now.
yeah,
So
we are. Anyway,
honestly,
this is the fruits of what we're living. We got somebody made a comment over on X. Colton Buck Jasper says, "I'm thinking about buying a flamethrower." So yeah, I think we all need more flamethrowers. Right? That's
So
that's.
we had
listen,
Anthony here that wanted to speak. I
exactly.
think.
Thank
I
you there,
think that.
Kenny. That was beautifully said there, Joshua. But back to what you were saying, Truthslinger, about possibly wanting to give up your weapons. I mean, I get kind of what you're saying there, but I used to live in this Aurora area, kind of taking it back to what's happening with the Venezuelan gangs. I was working at a hospital in Denver, and I've now moved away because of what I saw on a daily basis on the streets, just constantly getting worse over the course of a year that I was there. And a lot of my old coworkers are now reaching out to me because of my background with the military and firearms and whatnot. They were all anti-gun, anti-everything, very liberal, and their eyes are starting to open up some. And a lot of them are reaching out to me and be like, hey, I see what's going on. I need to defend myself. And I've been, giving them resources on how to get, licensure, how to get concealed carries, how to go about doing it right. And I think more and more people are really starting to see like the writing on the wall here. And at the end of the day, they're afraid, and I don't really know what the right course of action is other than actually getting these people out of there. But I think that at the end of the day, taking the guns away isn't the move. Just education and just spreading awareness is really key here.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that anybody should be giving up their weapons, because I think that the weapons here, the Second Amendment, is the thin line, right? Is the real thin blue line, right? Because ultimately, saying, and no, Joe Biden, we don't need F-16s to fight the government. You just need to shoot the tires off the F-16, and it ain't going fucking nowhere. So, he's an idiot, right? And these people are idiots. They've never heard of guerrilla warfare, right? These people are stupid. Right, so I'm not advocating that. The challenge was to me that if you're really a man of God, if you're really a man that's walking in the Spirit, okay, and you're really going to go out there and preach on the street corner, right, and preach God, is it detract from my message? Is it an aggressiveness that I'm that is possibly could be confused with people that don't understand. You understand what I'm getting at? And that if I really believe that God has his hand on me and I'm supposed to be saying what I'm supposed to be saying, and if it comes to a shooting at some point in time, then I'll be given whatever I need to defend myself because I'm really trusting fully in God. So that's what I'm saying just for me. I say everybody else needs to keep the damn guns.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Back when the crime got out of control in New York City, what happened? The guardian angels. I think we're gonna see that take place. We're gonna start seeing guardian angels coming up, groups being started, and to protect the innocent and the young.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it's going to be it's like vigilantism. And so Colton says, "Hey guys, go over to my X feed over there and join the chat over there. We got like 400 or 500 people, but we only got a few people chatting. So yeah, if you want to say something and you're just shy to come up here and get on the mic, and that's understandable, you know. But a lot of people, you know, I think it's good. This is a good place. Spaces. It's a real relaxed place where you can kind of let your hair down and just don't be too nervous and try it. It's hard. We know it's hard. It's scary. All of a sudden, it's like that little live button up there is saying record, and oh my God, people hear me. I get it. I dealt with that. It gets better, and so you couldn't be in a safer place to air whatever you got to say here. Nobody's gonna laugh at you, right? And so,
Thank you.
what's that?
Thank you for giving us all this place to speak. I'm honored to be here, and it's really good to hear everyone's point of view here.
Well, we definitely enjoy, man, having you all here, and I'm shocked at how successful it is. But I'm starting to get less shocked as I go, because when God is for us, who can be against us? Like really. And so yeah, so we're rolling here, man. I love it. We got a lot of people, and it just everybody's interested. The conversation is fantastic. Nobody right now has opened their mouth and uttered a silly word yet. And I think we're doing nothing but
Beside
just,
me.
yeah, no, well, okay, that's true. But I was trying to, be gracious.
No, I can think I'm the French guy here, so everything I say
It's
kind
my
of
French
awkward.
buddy. Yes, it's my friends up there in the north, the great white north.
Oui. No, exactly. Like, just to continue what you were saying. Like, we do not accept. I do not accept trollism. That's one ism that I really don't accept. So people can come up here and speak your mind. Don't be afraid. And if anybody tries to troll, I'm not going to even warn you. I might just kick you out because this is a respectful place. We're just here to tell the truth. Freedom of speech, is an important thing for me. So, Spencer, what do you got to say? You just popped in, and then we'll go to Van.
Hey, really appreciate it. Really appreciate you guys hosting the space. I've been listening for a little bit, and the topics that have come up have been absolutely fantastic. That aside, so I've participated in a lot of spaces over the last couple of days, and with Truth saying that this is a safe space, I'm a little bit on edge from my experience the last couple of days. I've been a part of spaces where they pretend to push MAGA and Maha and promote MAGA Maha. And you get a lot of perspectives of people that are not MAGA Maha trying to lean you towards like this Project 2025 and some of this other garbage, from the Heritage Foundation and that kind of stuff, kind of pushing the crowd, so to speak, in that direction. So I'm really glad I haven't heard much of that tonight. I just wanted to say that. I wanted to tell people to keep your wits about you in these spaces, keep your wits about you on X. There's a lot of bots. There's a lot of propagandists. There's a lot of people pretending to be something they're not here. So just wanted to make people aware.
Hey, that's a good advice, man. Thank you very much. And I just to be honest, like I've heard a little bit about 2025 Project 2025. It's not something that I really looked into, but no, you're right. A lot of people are trying to gaslight you to say things.
Honestly, Kenny, I don't even like using the word Project 2025 because I don't like bringing it up in spaces because then it gives people an opportunity to talk about it. So I just want to say I've noticed other spaces where people have pushed crowds in that direction. I want to keep us from doing that. Agenda 47 all the way.
That's good because what I'm trying to push, it's a different mentality. It's more like freedom of speech. Respect each other, love each other, believe there's good, be the good. We all on the same planet for anything. So what do you got for us, Van? You got the floor, Van.
Hello.
My name is Val, by the way, not man. That's okay.
We're
Oh,
sorry.
sorry, Val. That's my
Yeah,
French ears. Then
that's fine. I think going back to the Second Amendment issue, as an American, it's kind of our birthright truth, and I really appreciated you carrying actually today. I think more of us need to, and and not just. I know the Second Amendment is written specifically. The language, the verbiage is slated towards a tyrannical government, but one of those perks one would say is that for a lot of us, we live out here in the woods and we have to deal with wildlife. I mean, I just had a bear, a very big black bear in my yard not too long ago. So, I mean, that's a reality I have to deal with little kids, and I got bobcats coming around, and I know I hear coyotes from night to night, and I don't know. So I could never give up my guns. I mean, that's just my opinion, but
Was it Kentucky where the judge allowed the lady no charges filed for having an automatic weapon? I think it might have been Kentucky or Indiana or something like that. Just recently, within the past week.
I believe it was Nebraska
Oh,
Valence,
Nebraska.
right?
Wow,
or Kansas. Kansas. My
Valence.
my fault. Kansas.
Yeah.
Kansas. Yeah, that makes sense. But that is exactly what you would expect. I don't understand the limitations on the weapons we're able to buy. Like I even think like belt fed would be okay. I mean, if you had the wherewithal to shoot something like that and this and that, I don't see where anywhere it says we shouldn't have that in the Constitution. I read it a little different.
Well, we should
And
be
the
able to
fact,
own a cannon, right? The fact that you couldn't own cannons, that Biden says that, is a bunch of horse shit, okay?
it
I
is,
want a cannon for fuck's sake.
you know?
but
And
what about what they're doing with the state's National Guard military aircraft? Maine owns aircraft. Like states' National Guards own fighter jets. So that's the answer to his fucking stupid shit anyway, because we do. But what's happening is they passed something, and I remember reading this, that they're they're claiming all the states' National Guard aircraft as the government's. So they're taking our aircraft away, our fighter jets. Someone
It's
should
a fuzzy
look into
line.
that. It's happening. I remember reading it. I probably reposted it.
right. I wanted to get back to a thing about, and I appreciate that point, but I wanted to get back real quick about carrying and uh, you talked about Val said that he was glad that I was carrying today, right? And you see, my moniker is Truthslinger, but it's based on the fact that I'm also a gunslinger, right? And there's very few of them left in this world, okay? And there's more to it than just carrying a gun, okay? And I walk a certain way, and I portray, I put off a certain aura, okay? And it's because of who I am. It's not fake, it's not phony, it's just who I am. It was the rightest thing I ever did, I think I felt, when the first time I put that gun on my side. And it's never left my side, ever. And so I think that kind of thing, an armed society is a polite society, right? We need more people. And I can't tell you how many times I've been going through the grocery store, and I had the lady at the grocery store says, "Thank you for keeping us safe," or something like that. And so people do appreciate it. And I thought, in one case, people say, "Well, it's intimidating." I don't know, man. What say you guys? I think it's comforting to see people that are armed, because I know that those people will protect me, right?
Well, what do you think? What do you
Exactly.
think about the Texas State Fair, who just banned firearms from coming in, even if you have the license to carry? It's getting a little ridiculous, and in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why the Texas State Fair had an issue last year. You know,
Yeah, well, nobody wants to go to a gun-free zone. That's the stupidest place. It's a soft target, right? I mean, it's like that's why I care. I'm telling you, man. A place says gun-free zone, I just put it under my jacket. Fuck
like
you.
the entire city of Chicago.
Amen.
So I used to live there. I mean, I can just tell you, we used to play a game growing up there. Used to play a game on July 4th. Was it shotgun or was it a gun or was it a firework? That was the game we played
Oh,
in the
yeah.
apartment. That's how bad it is in your gun-free zones. You cannot buy a pistol in the city of Chicago. There's a whole the FOID card. If you guys are familiar with a FOID card, you have to have a license to purchase a weapon in the state of Illinois, which, in my opinion, is unconstitutional. But I'll leave it there.
Can I give you a quick story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like I was saying, I was living in Denver for a period of time. You can conceal carry in Colorado as long as you're not in the city limits of Denver. I would always keep my Glock in my vehicle. It was 1 a.m. I'm going to get a coffee at 7-Eleven. The door was locked. Around 10 people passed out on the ground off fentanyl, blah, blah, blah. I'm pulling on the door, can't open it. I turn around. I'm confronted by 6 shirtless men, obviously intoxicated or high, and they started yelling things at me. I start approaching my vehicle. They start running towards me. If I didn't have that gun as they're pounding on my window and on my hood, I don't know what would have happened. Um, you know what I mean? So these gun-free zones are only promoting violence against those who abide by those rules. I was out of state, so I did not have those protections, but it is literally setting up law-abiding citizens for failure.
Well, yeah, because by definition, criminals don't follow laws. So what fucking sense does it make to make more laws? I mean, I just hate to drop an F-bomb in there, but I thought it was appropriate.
Well, that and the thing that one of the things about Venezuela and being an American and living in Venezuela, one of the first things that Hugo Chavez did, the first dictator in Venezuela, well, one of the dictators in recent history, 1999, the first thing he did was pass a constitutional amendment to get rid of guns. So, these people will get rid of guns because why? Why will they get rid of guns? Because then the government can come after you because no one's armed. And this is exactly what happened in Venezuela. Venezuela, just recently, the 28th of July, they supposedly lost their election. This guy won the election by 75%, the opposition. But you know what? They rigged it again, as they've been rigging it for the last 20 years. And you know what happened? Everyone's disarmed. No one has a gun because these and the thing is that these same citizens that now cry foul and they cry dictatorship, these are the same citizens who said, we're pro gun control, we're pro the government will take care of us. No. And that's why in the US we have to stand against this BS. In Canada and in all the world we have to stand against this, because this is exactly what happened in Venezuela. They banned guns, and as soon as they could disarm the population, they can control the population.
Yeah,
Amen.
very well
And
said.
whenever I was in Denver, um, I was very surprised that that was the first time I ever had to pull a gun on a group of individuals and they then retreated. But in my time in service, in my head, that would have been the time where I would have had to pull a gun and or use a gun. Thankfully, I never did. But it was just disheartening that I had to protect myself here on American soil.
Oh, well, the fact that you had to be placed in that position. I mean, Jesus Lord, like pulling a gun on somebody, that shit is fucking like PTSD material. Like, let alone if you would have had to pop one of those suckers and watch his head explode in front of you and his eyes pop out like a cartoon character. Okay, why the
Thank
fuck?
God I didn't.
Right.
You're so graphic right now. Wow. I had to go back to work and finish the rest of my 12-hour shift, and I was visibly shook. Whenever I got back to work, my coworkers were like, "What's wrong with you?" I had no words. I couldn't really tell them what happened. They probably wouldn't have even believed me. But yeah, I had to go back to saving lives and
Yeah.
carry about my day.
Any of us that have been in the service know that struggle. And Anthony, I'm surprised it wasn't. Was it on Colfax? It could have been on
It was on
Colfax.
Colfax at the 7-Eleven.
Of course, it was on Colfax. I know Colfax. Of course, I do. I mean, we even service members. I mean, I didn't serve in the American Army, but I served in the Israeli Army, where we had a lot more action. But to come here to to the United States, the home of the free, and when we think about us having to pull any type of gun out to someone because someone is trying to, I mean, recently I was in Argentina and I got robbed at gunpoint. And honestly, I had no gun. I couldn't do anything but just let them take. I literally got my cell phone taken away and my shirt. They literally took my shirt away. So I was walking around with no shirt and no cell phone. But to think about this in the United States or in in Canada, the US, here in in North America, it just blows my mind that we're living in these days now.
Well, we're living in a third world nation. Yeah, right. So we got some other hands up. Yeah, Spencer, what do you got to say?
Well, just in response to Joshua there, and thank you very much, Joshua, and I appreciate the story because I know of several people that have been mugged. But I will just say, if you ever are in a mugging situation, in my opinion, don't use this as advice, but in my opinion, it's always best to just give them the stuff before resorting to deadly violence. That's a personal
but
opinion.
I want to give them the stuff. The full stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll give
But I
them
mean, if it's about
everything.
if it's about your wallet versus man's life, if it's yours or theirs, who knows who's going to draw first in that situation. In that situation, give them your wallet. That's my
Yep,
opinion.
take it
I
all.
I just want to take a moment to tell those that are speakers, if you don't think you're going to talk anymore, leave. Go back to our listeners so I can put, because we can only have 10 speakers, I believe. I don't know, like total or with the. So just like if you want to come back after, no problem, But just like if you think you have nothing to say at the moment, so we can have a flow of people that may want to come on the floor.
Yeah, yeah. And if
Just
it,
a little reminder.
and I really,
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Kenny. And
Anthony.
I would just add to that last statement real fast and totally agree with Kenny. I would just add to that last statement that that's completely different from somebody trying to intrude your home or break into your house or steal your belongings, where you have a position where you can bring out lethal force without perhaps taking a life. So just want to say that.
well, that's definitely, and I'm glad you made that clarification and caveat, because I think the stakes are completely different. So that's a big clarification. And I just also wanted to tell everybody that you've been doing such a great job. Everybody's been so respectful tonight. I want to say thank you very much. Nobody's talking over each other. I haven't had, you just responded real well to moderation tonight. And I also want to give a shout out to Kenny, right? My crow. He's my crow. He is the man running the show here. He's kind of taking production here, and he's doing a great job lining up the speakers and doing a great job being a co-host. So thank you very much, Kenny. Appreciate that.
Well, thanks, man. It's a little bit not my first time doing co-host, but my first time with you. I want to point out that when I look at my ex right now, I have a streamer that's a gamer. We passed him a little while ago. He's only and when we passed at 550 follower viewer, and he's just stuck at 550, and we're up to 800 now. So viewers. So yeah, it's going really well. So no, I invite everybody. You want to come on, take the floor. Myself, I'm just listening, trying to gather as much as information I can from all of you. Joshua, thank you very much for all of your input. If you got any updates, my DMs are open, man. Contact Truthslinger. I think you would have. I love your input anyway. I'd like to talk more with you. Anybody else want to come up?
Well, I just want to
Don't
say
feel shy.
before we walk on, somebody else step on the stage, don't forget, excuse me. It's realtruthslinger@gmail.com, realtruthslinger@gmail.com. And definitely anybody that wants to come on my show or talk about having a podcast or take next steps or wants a copy of my book, Make War, you definitely want to send me your email and contact information, phone numbers, that kind of thing, because we don't know how long Spaces is going to be here, so we need alternate ways to contact each other. and continue to keep this network going. In case we do have technical problems or things go down, you have other ways to find us. We're also got Kenny working on a Discord account. We're going to be getting that up and going soon, so we'll be able to do some more private chatting, right, behind
Yeah,
closed
yeah,
doors about some things.
yeah.
So that's
And I'd like to give a really good notification, like you give your email address and stuff like that. And just guys, stop sending unsolicited dick pic. Come on, you know.
yeah, there you go, right, man. I've seen enough dick. Okay, all right. Who wants to step up and have a say? Hello.
Oh, I just wanted to kind of go back to the whole Aurora, Colorado incidents going on. I also want to just remind everyone that we are in an information war. So you know, if you guys know what's really going on over there, we need to like set up something where we can spread the word quickly. Might even save some lives. Um, I also want to say, like, there's no guarantee for the enemy to have Wi-Fi. There's no guarantee for the enemy to have a cell coverage. So they have cell phone blockers out there. They have Wi-Fi blockers out there. We have, there's good people that can do things, non-violently too.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you brought that up, and that's been a theme that we've been talking about tonight. And if you came a little late to the party, yeah, we were talking about doing things that are, a little bit out of the box. Maybe we could even call them sneaky and shrewd, right? Cutting infrastructure, plugging sewer lines, doing all sorts of stuff, which doesn't directly hurt anyone. It just messes with some infrastructure, right? So, and I mean, at this point, we've got to ratchet things up. I don't know any other way to start doing some of these things. It doesn't make sense to go in guns a blazing, as they say, right in through the front door. I think we need to be shrewder, smarter than we've ever been. But fight, we must fight. We must fight.
Hi, this is Dusty. This is a righteous indignation. Third, I haven't said anything yet. I've been in here, I believe, most of the time. I really enjoy the spaces. And you guys said that you're going to be doing this Fridays,
We're
or
we're gonna be well, Friday night we're doing an open mic when basically it's like Spaces, except it's in my video studio, and we can have up to 10 people. Anybody wants to wander in and just sit in front of a mic and just shoot the breeze, and it's
And
real
debate.
informal.
And
Okay.
Where's your studio, Truth?
Well, my studio's in Central Maine, but you can just find us. What I'll do is post a link, so you just want to keep an eye on our feed, and
great.
what we'll do is we'll just post a link, and you'll see join my studio, and it'll say open mic, and we're gonna start probably somewhere nine ish, right around on Friday
So
night.
nine Eastern, then.
Yeah. And
Okay, great.
we're gonna go until people wear out. We went till like almost 3 in the morning last night.
That's great.
Hey, Truth, I'm gonna start doing some interviews here in Aurora. Well, in Aurora, I get back tomorrow. I'm gonna do start doing some interviews with certain people who I'm pretty sure they're very passionate about the subject, and they would love to talk to people, not only in Colorado but nationwide. So just so you know, I'll be sending you updates on that.
Oh yeah, please do. Okay, I mean we want to make content out of this, and we want to get people know what's going on. And when we started this project, and I started this project, man, I'm not screwing around, man. God is on the move here, and He's doing big things. And I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that we can change the world. Okay, we can be the next Robbie Starbuck. We can be the next person who makes a huge change because we just happen to bring the right focus at the right time on the right subject and push the right buttons.
I'm getting good. I'm getting a lot of good vibe. People are DMing me a lot. Saying, "Hey, you guys are speaking the truth. That's awesome, you guys." And that's what it is. We want to speak the truth. Yes, I have an opinion, but my opinion is like my eye soul, is mine. Like we all have one, and we don't all use it for the same purpose. But whatever. So let's speak the truth, and that's about it, man. If you guys want to hear
Well,
about the truth, we'll try to bring it as it is, as we think it.
I don't know
it,
what I don't want to ever want to know what you use your asshole for. I know what I use mine for.
I poo, I poo poo. Okay.
it sounds like there's a lot of good Christians on here, and I just want to recommend maybe some reading material. Maybe not. You haven't heard of this guy. He's on YouTube too. He's sadly passed away, but Michael Heisner, and he's got a few books out. But yeah, just if you just look up Michael Heisner, he has Unseen Realm, Reversing Herman. But the Unseen Realm, there's a video on YouTube that is really mind blowing, and it's really eye opening because I mean it's really it's it. If I wasn't a believer at the beginning of all this, say starting at October 7th, if I wasn't a believer, okay, but all the events, just happening, you can't even keep up. It's so mind blowing. I would be a believer now. Fortunately, I was raised from a young age as a Christian, so it wasn't, but if I wasn't a believer, I would be one now for sure. I watched the Trump assassination attempt. I was sitting here watching it live. I was in the Marines. I've heard gunshots before, and hearing them over the live stream TV, I knew exactly what was going on. His twitch, his go to the ground. I thought he was dead. But he came up with his fist, and I was like, that was God. That was God.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely,
I thought,
100%, absolutely.
it was God, absolutely 100%. And I'm not, saying, Trump's our savior. Let's worship Trump. Absolutely not. But God put his hand in there and helped him. There was something there. And there's a bunch of videos too of Jonathan Cahn. If you guys ever heard of him, he's great. He's on YouTube too. He talks. He's a rabbi, Jonathan Cahn, Christian, but he talks about the connections between Trump and I forget his name, but it was a king from the Bible, and it all matched up, and it was very interesting. But I can't. I don't want to start quoting things because I'm not 100%.
Are you talking about David and Goliath or King Solomon? I'm just trying to. I imagine
No.
David and Goliath.
It wasn't. It wasn't that. It was a king I hadn't. It was a more obscure king I hadn't heard of as much. I don't remember exactly. Like I said, I don't want to start guessing. But the video is. I mean, if you look it up on YouTube, it's it's a more recent video, and it's he's talking about how it's all connected. The Trump assassination attempt, how it's all connected with biblical prophecy, and the left is so unhinged. I've stopped engaging them on here. I don't engage them anymore. It's and when a troll shows up, and you know what I've noticed a lot, mostly on my page. I've got Trump posts galore. Okay. And then about every 10 posts, I put a really nice Christian post to remind people where my heart really is, and I get trolls on the Christian posts every single time. They don't mess with the political posts, but they're always hitting the Christian posts. And first couple times I was like, hey, but after 10 or so times, I'm like, they're telling us exactly who they are.
Yeah, and just a little note about trolls, right? You got to be real careful with trolls, and the best way to deal with those. Hang on a second. Psst, get out of here. Yeah, the best way to deal with the trolls. Sorry about that. The best way to deal with trolls, right, is just laugh at them. Just mock them, okay? Never get angry, ever, okay? Because all they're going to do is draw you into saying some stupid shit. And then what's going to
They're
happen
energy.
is you're going to
They're energy parasites.
yeah, and you're gonna violate a community standard, and the next thing you're going to be on the sidelines, right? And then what have we
I
accomplished?
just got off of a week suspension for that. So
Yeah, see, so I've been there, right? So be careful, people. You know, you're just best. I engage sometimes, but I only engage for the purpose, okay, very important, of polemics, right? If I believe there are people listening in earshot of what's going
right,
on in the conversation,
exactly.
that
I
can
do
be
it for
convinced.
people watching. I don't do it for
That's
them
right.
at all.
And if there's none of that, then ba-boom, bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, not even 9 times out of 10, almost every single time I look at the trolls page. They've got like 35 followers, never more than 1,000.
Yeah, right. No,
And
and many times I think they're really bots and they're just designed to draw us in. Hey, if you don't mind, let's let somebody else get up and take the floor for
absolutely,
just a couple of minutes. We really appreciate what you had to say, and I'm really glad you're here. And just
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, man, we really do appreciate it. And just to let you know that I think we've got currently 900 views, right, on X. So
Wow.
we're multiplying this. This is pretty cool, I
Yeah.
think, right?
We went up last night. We went up to what? Less than 500, I think.
Yeah, we're doing very well. It looks like we're probably going to break 1,000 tonight,
I think
probably
we
before
got
we get done.
Spencer, then we got Val, and then we got Fitter Steve. Just a reminder, everyone, you want to take the mic. I got another few spots. You can come and chit chat. When you're done, you walk. You can walk. Be polite. We're talking about the truth, and let's love each other, man. I'd love to hear you all, man. That's awesome. You know, like here in Canada, freedom of speech has been under attack for a while now. We have seen this attack on Facebook. Like, it's the reason why we cannot post like a news outlet thing on Facebook. It's as this really weird, but you know, it's just look at what's going on in Brazil right now. Like, X has been banned in Brazil at this point. Elon Musk came out and said even though they banned, they seized or like they blocked our bank account, we will continue to supply Starlink to the subscriber for free. So subscribers, Starlink subscribers in Brazil are getting all of this, their product for free, while Elon, is going through this battle warfare with Voldemort. So yeah, you know, that's another one of our freedom fighter, and that's why I encourage people to, you know, if you don't give him a follow and just look at what he does, you know, don't believe what other people say about people. Do your own research. The first rule I've learned in cryptocurrency is do your own research, DIYOR. And not enough people apply it in their real life. And that's why I think we're going to have Joshua that's going to go like on the ground in Aurora tomorrow. And, you know, he lives nearby. So we're going to have like dead on, you know, like not off the news stuff. Like, so if you want to get the real news tomorrow from Aurora, you'll get it from us through Joshua. Thank you very much. You know, stuff like that. We gotta be together. That's a fight that we're not gonna win if we argue on which political side you are. Like these people, when they come into your house, they don't care if you're Democrat. They don't care if you're Republican. They don't care which country you come from. What they want, you know, is rape your daughter and beat you up. You know, and that's the sad reality that we are into. That we're seeing it in the UK. And we have to look at what's happening to our neighbors on the planet to see that, you know, when they're done with them, they're coming for us.
Wow, let me tell you, we're kind of blowing up over here on X. Actually, the viewership keeps going up, but we're getting some really great comments, and I just wanted to read a couple of them to you. We got some people curious out there going, "What's a TNN?" Yeah, so I told them we're the Truthslinger News Network. And we're shaking and moving over here and doing good things, and that people want to stay close to us because things are happening here, right? This is the place it's happening. This is the Wild West here. And so, you know, people are saying, man, that loving the argument going on and the things that we're talking about. And we got people promoting us, which is really great. New people learning about us, right? Global Voter said, I love this show. It is godly and God-centered. Right, so very, very good that we're having people that are really vibing to what's going on here. And I think we're doing, like I said, new stuff, right? Man, we're cross-wiring X spaces with X live streaming. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's just the thoughts are coming up every single day, and it's great. And the more and more people we get in, the more and more ideas we get, and it's kind of starting to snowball. So it's very, very exciting, right? So we got some more hands up. Why don't we get Filter Steve to jump in and say hi to us and talk to us for a minute if you're out there.
Hi, Filter Steve.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Great space. I really liked what was said about triggering these people. I get more lefty lunatics triggered by my Christian post and what's on my page. The description of myself as being a constitutional conservative Christian than I do of anything else. I mean, I post Trump all day long, but man, you say Christian and their head spins around backwards and they start spitting green vomit and they go nuts.
Yep.
We are definitely in some wicked times, and the demons are active. And I'll end there.
Yeah, I definitely think you're absolutely right. And I personally have a fascination with demonology, right? When I was in seminary, I remember my biblical counseling teacher who had just published his thesis, right, as his first book, and he was all excited and stuff, got very uncomfortable when we were talking about mental illness and counseling and all this kind of stuff. And I said, so can we talk about the demons and how the demons play into mental illness? And it was like, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, right? And so now, and I think the Catholics are completely off the rail as far as theology, and much of their religion is antichrist. However, they do seem to have a kind of corner on the market on like exorcism, and I know that there's a lot of that kind of crap out there that's not real, and unfortunately, that is what obscures the stuff that actually is real, and it helps to make us believe that demon possession really doesn't exist. Okay, but yes, it does, and I mean, in our lost state, we're either influenced by demons, right, in this spiritual war that's raging around us, and we don't know how to identify it, right? Then we absolutely aren't going to be able to see it, and we're going to be swinging in the dark, right? So yeah, then you could just see some of our politicians in this country. I mean, Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she's like a lizard, man. So all right, calm down with the soundboard. That's my job over here.
Yeah, who's doing the soundboard? Please don't.
Yeah, ease up, man. So anyway, who wants to go next, man?
We just got Jeremy that just joined us. Spencer had his hand up for a while. Maybe he wants to raise it down and calm down his armpit. And then we can go with Jeremy
in here, man.
I've got a few things to say, but yeah, put me in line.
Yeah, go ahead, say it now, man. Forever hold your peace.
So yeah, obviously, I mean, this has been a fantastic space, and to Kenny Crow, Truthslinger, you guys have been fantastic. And in response to what you were saying, Truthslinger, there are most definitely people possessed by demons, and you can feel it in people when they're around you. They say, why are there no knock-knock jokes about America? It's because freedom rings, right? I hope I'm being respectful, and admonish me if I've taken too much of the floor. But as for Righteous and what he was saying earlier, Righteous, to your note, I don't engage with the left, is what you were saying, because they've gone insane. Well, I'm just going to tell you, you're going to encounter the left regardless, especially when you're in spaces and interacting with them on social media. All I can tell you is put on the armor of God and fight them with their words and ideologies. You can't let them win on these platforms. There's a reason we're all coming together now. There's a reason we're all choosing to team up versus divide, right? God's elect and the truth will come together at the end. There's a reason we're all seeking truth right now. It's because we don't see any in the world right now. A lot of what we're seeing in the world is lies. It's propaganda about wars and politics. Even here on X, you see it all across the X platform. So we've got to fight it in our own towns, in our own schools, and for some of us, even in our own families. I'll leave it there.
Well, that was a fantastic comment. No, you're not taking up too much time at all, especially when you speak as lucidly as that. So that's really, really helpful input. And I mean, I think that this is definitely it's all coming to a head, and there's no question. This entire project has been about right providing truth, bringing truth, letting people know the truth. The truth shall indeed set you free, right? And I think that at this point it's awfully hard to ignore the clear nature of the fact that we've got a battle between good and evil. I mean, up is down. What used to be called bad is good, and everything is ass backwards. Okay, and so yeah, we just hit 1,000 views on X, baby. We're excited about that, man. People are vibing
Wow.
to this
Wow.
discussion.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is, like I said, we've been going through really, really well, and everybody's been really respectful in the spaces, and this is what makes this work. That everybody is coming together and saying what's on their mind, and we're saying we got to do something, and we're finally, I think, starting to wake up to this reality. And it's like, yeah, we can get Trump back in, but that's not where the battle's going to end, and we're not going to vote our way out of this entirely, right? This is where our fight is not against flesh and blood, right? It's against powers and principalities, and we can't forget that, right? And that's so very important. And right now, we need to more than ever not be loving the world, nor the things of this world, right? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, all these things. These are all the things that that are the distractions. We're like a moth, like just going into the flame, right? And so many are there, but I think that there is an awakening going on, and I think the harder it's going to get, there people are going to be seeking more and more places and spaces like this. And what we try and do, and I'm freer than I ever have been, right? I was talking to Val this morning and saying that I reject the labels anymore. I don't want them, right? They're nothing but limiting. They just control my mind, okay?
And I support that totally, man.
Yeah, I mean, this, and I talked about, I referenced RFK Jr., man, Bobby Kennedy Jr., this whole spirit that's come together. And I know there's still going to be all sorts of antichrist forces trying to tear it apart, but this unity movement, there is something here. Okay, we've got people that I'm talking to that would be considered anti-Semites, right? I've got people that I'm talking to are Orthodox Jews, right? And I mean, we have people in
But
the spaces tonight.
you have to blame it on the medical system, right? Also, because there's no fucking doctor that's ever gonna be like, you gotta be like doctor, I can't get up in the morning. I don't feel good. No doctor is gonna be like, you're shit. You don't have no self discipline. Get the fuck up. Go do some sport. You're fat. Stop eating McDonald's. No doctor is gonna be like straight up. No, they're gonna be, oh, let's wait. We're gonna put you on that medicine because you probably got that.
Yeah.
So that's a big that labeling has been like people want that label, so then they can be like, oh well, I'm sorry, I say this because I'm ADHD and this and that's like, no, you're just a shitty person. I don't want to, you want to say whatever you want whenever you want, and
Well,
just then after that say
like
I'm.
even when people say, well, you're a Christian, that's loaded, right? They say, well, you're a Christian, right? That's not very Christian of you, right? That stop using their language.
Oh, I
Okay,
call them red hot sus
I'm a believer of
Christian. I
Christ.
call them red hot sus Christian. They put that shit on everything.
Right. But yeah, I mean, but we, and don't underestimate the fact that we've been programmed for our entire lives, okay, by Hollywood, the CIA, the media telling us what to think, how to think, right? Just so that I get so fucked up in my life, I get to this place where I say out loud, and I was talking to a black friend of mine, I wouldn't have been born black. And he said to me, well, why? Is that because you would have been born poor? And I went, holy shit, I fell over. I think I'm a smart guy, but I didn't realize that that's kind of what was going on in my mind, right? And I had it all twisted, right? And so that's the way they control us, by using these labels. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're racist if you don't think like me. You're a bigot.
Right, exactly.
And in America, just to kind of piggyback off that, in America, that's how they've controlled the black and the Latino population. The Democratic Party has enjoyed years of decades of just baiting the minorities into just voting for Democrats, because they say, you don't vote for us, as Joe Biden said, you don't vote for us, you're not black. Or and even Latinos that I've spoken to, they say, we're used to voting. But I believe there's such a turnaround nowadays, because there's so many Latinos, so many blacks that are now changing, because even they're seeing our communities are being affected because of these crises that we're going through with migrants, and not even that, but just the Democratic Party taking advantage of votes because they think that they were invincible, and because they thought that they could always have that vote. So it's funny, you control the masses by an ideology, and that's what they've been doing for years, for decades and decades. And I really do think that in this cycle, things are changing, and honestly, they're changing, and it's a great thing, because you don't have to believe because a certain person believed this, or because my ancestors, because my family believe this. You don't have to believe it. You can be a free thinker, and you can you can be free to make your own decision.
Amen.
Yeah, I agree.
Jeremy, you wanted to come and take the floor a little bit, come and speak a little bit, or not, or yes,
Well,
else
yeah, can
fine.
I just say what Donald just said there is absolutely beautiful. I think you're seeing cities like Brooklyn, Oakland. You're seeing a lot of these places really turn for Trump. In fact, it's really crazy to me to see how red California is. I did a lot of research on that. Somebody told me California is really red, so I looked it up. And it was absolutely crazy when I saw the actual numbers there, and you see the crowds that are forming out in that space, and just people lining the streets. So these inner cities that Democrats used to take advantage of, hand over fist, used to just absolutely, to Donald's point, just kind of put in the bank that they had, are really transforming. I'm seeing a transition. I'm seeing a change of narration there.
Yep. Hey, I gotta interject something
Yeah,
here.
we got. I got to say this one. Righteous indignation
Yeah.
on the chat says God's favorite human was arguably David. The first thing David did was kill Goliath. Just saying, stop with the marshmallow Christianity.
Amen.
And that brings it to the point. That when the attack in masculinity right now. That we should be soft. We should be talking about our emotions, and we should not be able to commit any violence. And anybody that gets angry is just a bad person. It's like, no, man. Like when all those people, like sometimes when if their house is on fire, it's manly men, masculine men that come and save them. When their car breaks down, it's a guy that spit on the ground that's coming and risk his life on the side of the highway for those ladies and those people. So like we have to respect what the world we live into was built. Those people can complain as much as they want, but the men that have built the road we drive on, and the building we walk in, and the hospital we were born in, were built by our grandparents, and those people risked their life for us.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. The whole thing about marshmallow Christianity is right. Don't don't ever mistake meek for weak, okay? And don't ever mistake the fact that meek means we're supposed to be nice, okay? Jesus came in flipping tables, all right? Jesus was a disruptor, okay? Jesus, they just went around trying to trap him. That's all they did, right? They followed him around trying to trap him because
Like in John.
they couldn't control him, and they didn't want religion outside of their control, their government, their power. Okay, the modern Pharisees are Nancy Pelosi, okay, and Chuck Schumer. Do you understand? These people that walk around with the flowing robes. This is what I'm trying to say, right? And so this is what we've got. And so we're not supposed to be nice. Don't let other people put you in a box, and don't let them say, "Oh, well, you said a cuss word. You know, what kind of Christian are you?" Yeah, fuck you, asshole. I mean, just to be
That
quite
kind of
frank with
Christian,
you, I
fuck
mean,
around and find out, kind
yeah,
of.
I mean, seriously, who the hell told you? Like, yeah, let me educate you, right? You don't know shit about the Bible, son, right? You haven't read it. You don't know shit. You picked some one sentence out. Judge not, yes, lest ye be judged. Man, it's talking about Christians talking to other Christians, you fool. Okay, I can judge you plenty, right? And I can do so with the righteous indignation of God Himself, right? And somebody said in there, be angry but do not sin. And the only way that you can do that is to be angry because God is angry. And when God is angry, we're allowed to be angry, right?
Amen.
We're made in the likeness of him, so
That's right. Righteous indignation. There's nothing wrong with that as long as we make sure that we don't have that log in our eye, right? That's what that means. And so when that's clear and we're good and we're sure that we're repentant and we're good with him, right? Then we're supposed to be looking around and being salt and light, right? We're supposed to be being an irritant at times, man. Salt is an irritant, okay? And that's what we need to start doing is being irritating to people.
Well, I work commercial construction, and I'm around a lot of men. And when they say his name in vain, I say, you know what I tell them? I say, Jesus loves you. And they don't. I'll be honest. After I say that, they don't even know what to say. They just don't want to talk to me anymore.
is that Ryan?
Yeah, this is Ryan.
So Ryan, that actually happened to me in a space the other night when I was a speaker. There was I don't want to bring up names, but there was another speaker on. She said the GD word. I brought it up that she said the GD word. She very good host. She acknowledged that, hey, that might turn some people off, and that's kind of a habit of mine. And I understood that can be habits of people and how they were brought up or how they were raised. I just wanted to make it known that that's kind of like a bullet to the heart in some cases. So that was a really cool space the other night. I don't know if it was recorded. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. But I'll just say, don't let your voices be muted to what Truth was saying. There's been a lot of spaces I've been in where you'll be cordoned off, so to speak, if you say the wrong words. So just want to leave that
Well,
there.
for my defense, I am French Canadian, okay, and as a co-host, I feel like I need to say this after what you just said. I have a very foul language, but for my defense, as a Frenchman, I was not speaking English until the age of 18. Then I moved to Alberta, Canada, and I lived in a little town called Strathmore, which was a little town, and I stayed there for 2 years. And then I moved to Winnipeg, Manitoba, and that's like a little more hippie town. And people are like, "Why do you swear so much?" Well, I learn English in Alberta. Oh, okay, that's why. It's just like I try to correct it as much as I can, but like it's
Oh
the
man,
F
Kenny, I
word.
think I think everybody understands, right? I think that's the whole
Yeah,
point about our spaces and why we need
yeah.
unity. It's to
But
get over
but
that menial crap.
but you saying that makes me realize that you're right. Like I got that little co-host there. And I should be careful about the language I use. And but in some instance when you talk about something and you get intense. There's sometimes where it's acceptable to swear, but like in what I'm saying right now, if I would have dropped, 20 F-bomb, that would have killed, what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Uh,
think I think what you got to do here is you got to look at what's appropriate for this situation. And I've been thinking about this because I'm
yeah,
forming an
yeah.
entire news network, right? So I'm thinking programming, right? I'm thinking time of day. I'm thinking who's tuning in. What day are we talking about? Are we talking Sunday? Are we talking Wednesday? Are we talking Friday night? Right? I mean, these are all different circumstances. Who's in the room, in the space
Well,
that
and
you're
I
talking
was
about?
sorry to interrupt. I was more speaking to the using the Lord's name in vain,
Right,
right?
right,
And
right.
that's what occurred in that space. And man, it really hit like a bullet. I don't know
Yeah.
if you hear it in common speech, and it just kind of turned you off, right?
Well,
but that's
and I
what I
get, I
mean.
get, I get
I've
that.
used stuff like that,
I
right?
get that
So
too, okay? But you know what? I've also said it, and there are times when, like, for example, you might even say, well, some people will say, Jesus Christ, okay, or God damn it, right? Okay. It depends on what I'm saying it about, because it just back to my earlier point that if it comes
Right.
from the righteous indignation of God, right? Or in that case, or or if I'm in exasperation saying Jesus Christ, I walk with Jesus Christ every day, all day. That's all I do. And so it doesn't necessarily, that's not blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. That's a big misunderstanding. And if you want to get a lesson on that, look up what Dennis Prager has to say about blasphemy of the Holy Spirit.
When it's used in the cases of like or kind of as a space filler or as an emphasis provider, would you say your mother's name the same way? That's the way that I look at it.
Yeah. I understand. And the way I look at that is it depends on being in the presence of weaker brothers, okay, too. Because, again, it goes back to Paul being all things to all people. And I think that's the trick here. Without being phony or without, but I mean, we have to meet people where they're at, right?
Yeah.
And so we
and
can't
that's
make...
why I thought it was really cool the other night in that space where the co-host acknowledged that. And then other people in the speakership tried to pipe up and jump in, and she had to actually mute the space and say, "Hey, we handled this like adults. The rest of you are being children. Let's move on."
Right.
I feel like anything that might be said in French sounds romantic, so I wouldn't probably take it as the insult because I don't know
No,
what
I'm
it means.
Quebecois. It's not as romantic. I'm Quebecois. It's not as romantic, man. Like my stepdad is French from France, and he's got this Quebecois accent. He's been here for 15 years, right? And it's just like, yeah, shit. It's funny sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, Zombie Nation, do you have your hand up there? You want to chat a little bit?
Vala doesn't hand up.
Oh, he's just listening. He's just got his hand up. Anybody else want to have a say? We got a great crew in here tonight, man. We got a whole lot of.
Do we have any RFK supporters in the speakership, or is that?
No, Tim, I just wanted to say, in regarding to taking the Lord's name in vain, I think in that specific biblical reference, I've heard a hermeneutic on it regarding proclaiming yourself as a follower of Christ, but then not living like it. Taking the Lord's name, I'm binding myself to the Lord's name, Jesus Christ, but I'm not projecting or behaving like a Christian out in the world. I think that's what it means regarding taking the Lord's name in vain.
I see. That's a very interesting take.
Because the words fuck and shit are actually acronyms, as I said it in the chat. It's forced unlawful carnal knowledge and ship high in transit. And an older brother in Christ once told me that, and I was blown away. I'm like, wow, okay. And so, yeah, I mean, that just might be. And of course, if you're convicted of it, I mean, let every man's conscience guide him. But, yeah, I mean, I think you probably touched on it a little bit more when talking to younger, weaker brothers in the faith. But we also have to remember we're all human. We're all going to sin. And sometimes it's hard to, what we see today in society, in our culture, in this country, in the world, it's hard it's just a hard pill to swallow sometimes. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it is.
Well, Zombie Nation said something in the chat over here. And by the way, I mean, I've never seen the chat blow up like this. And this is honest to God. I'm not kidding. I'm not blowing my own horn over here. But I just had no idea this was going to be so successful. And so the comment was, I swear because I am lazy. And and it's interesting when it said, when I think first, I can speak without swearing. And I'll tell you something, there's a lot of wisdom and lucidity in that statement right there, right? I think, because I think that it is easy to swear sometimes. And I think sometimes it's appropriate for emphasis, right? But again, if that's all you do is your language is all salt, right? It's all seasoning. There's no meat there, right? So, but I think it's really important to say slowing down. It's true, because I do, you can use that stuff as a filler word and you can end up sounding like an idiot, right? And so using your words is very important, I think. And so, yeah, slowing down and doing that, because I have to, if I'm going to get on the radio, if I've got any hope of being on a call in, regularly, a few times a week in the morning show or something like, whatever, I'm going to have to be able to clearly clean it up. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to slow down, think, and be more creative.
Yeah, thank you, people, for reminding us of that. I think Eric Cook has his hand up too. He caught a bird on the way out.
I I got to say, I really appreciate stumbling across this space. You guys are putting out a lot of words of wisdom, and I appreciate that. Um, I think Truth Slinger said earlier that he was watching the speech where President Trump was shot, and I was too. I was watching it and listening to it on my cell phone, and I think what we witnessed on that day was divine intervention. I mean, there's no question in my mind that that was a hand of God that protected President Trump,
Amen.
and I think that God has plans for him, and we're at a very precarious time in world history, and I think that Trump was chosen to be our leader. I honestly do, and I pray hard. I pray hard for our country. I pray hard for all my fellow Americans that we're going to come out on the other side of this. But I do have some concerns. And when I see things going on in the world, like what's happening in Great Britain right now, what's happening in Ireland, I think it's across the globe. There's an uprising, and from what I can gather, not from the mainstream media. I get more news from X than I do anywhere else. From what I can gather, the governments are not protecting their citizens. They're protecting the invaders over their own citizens. We got groups running around in the UK with machetes attacking people. And, then I see things like what's going on in Aurora. And it just really, it puts a little fear into me. I'm not there. I'm not able to take a stand, but I think that, we're in a very, very troubled time in world history. And I think that we've all got to lean on the Lord and ask Him for His guidance and support. And I'll leave with this: the thing that has me more concerned than anything is I think the Democrats are out of options at this point.
Yeah,
They
well, I agree.
if they can figure out how to steal it, they'll steal it. They stole it in
Yeah, they're
2020. I
clearly.
don't care what anybody says, they did. And so, I guess that's somewhat of an option. But I think this September 18th, where they're going to basically punish President Trump, it really has me concerned. What happens if they lock him up? What position does that put us in? That's my question. And anybody want to comment on that?
Well, they've
Well,
already, I
I
just
guess
heard
my question is:
yesterday.
Do you really think that Trump's going to spend a day behind bars in a real prison or hotel made prison?
I think
I
that
want
I don't personally. I think that that's probably when the place is going to get surrounded by thousands of people, and then they're not going to let them through. They're not going to let them
Yeah,
out.
so they can't do it. They can't do a hotel in New York. If they were going to do it, it'd be Rikers, right? But at the end of the day, you'd still have boats and you'd have flags. So, in my opinion, there's no way that they could pull off an arrest of Donald Trump, an imprisonment of Donald Trump, and not have massive crowds. Because here's the deal: I would go, right? If
He's a
Trump got arrested,
presidential
I'm
candidate.
there.
He's a
Yeah.
presidential candidate that's got pretty much half of the votes, all in the polls right now. So you know what will happen. It's not like a little people, a partisan like MAGA or no. It's like it's a
I,
lot
I, I
more people.
I think it would lead to some real problems.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I
I don't
guess
think it'll happen. I think what'll happen is if for they try to steal it and try to seat her in the seat, then I think that they will try to come after him, and then that's when that happens. But not until then. That's my opinion.
Well, Kamala will put him in jail the first day she's in office. It can I can read it in her eyes when I see her in the front. We got tidbit stuff. I think I said it right in French. I guess pardon my French here. You have something to say, my friend?
I was just going to ask what y'all thought about this. I've thought about it. You know, we can still elect him in jail. That's not a big deal. But I don't
I'll
want
do
him
it.
Epstein. One night in jail is all it'd take.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like jail is not a safe place at all.
And I'm wondering, are they going to let the Secret Service go with him?
Yeah, well, we all know how efficient the Secret Service is, right?
They're not all bad.
Well, and
No,
They,
then think about
no,
think
no,
about
they're
what happened to Jeffrey Epstein.
yeah,
So you don't want him in the hands of prison guards.
exactly,
Yeah, but I
exactly.
heard he killed himself.
He Trump is due to have security, but because he's the last president. So I don't know. They'd have to be in rules and twist all kind of stuff. And if they do that, I mean, excuse my French, but all hell's gonna break loose.
Oh, absolutely. And like that's one of they play with the rules beyond everybody else's back. They change those little lines on the like, and that's the problem with digitalization now. It's you cannot just go into a book, and change everybody's book. But now you can just go on a website and change everybody's website, right?
Can I
So
just jump in here and just say, obviously, we don't condone violence.
no,
We
no,
don't
no,
condone
absolutely.
any of that. But I do want to say, they'll be calling for some kind of rebuttal to an imprisonment of Donald Trump. I do have to say that. So I don't think it's going to happen at least until after the election. I think they're going to try to steal it. Um, what protection measures have been put in place since then? And if we have any speakers that want to talk about protection measures we've put in place, that'd be great.
well, before we move on, and I think it's important to mention that we here at the Truthslinger News Network are growing. We are a passion project that is fueled and funded literally by the people that just consume it, have become fallen in love with it, and want to see it grow. And we don't have a pot to piss in right at the moment. So if you want to contribute and you want to send us some tips, you can do that. There's a little tip button and there's a link tree on my X feed, which would be great. But there's all sorts of other ways you can contribute. And one of the reasons that I'm saying this is because God keeps bringing resources, right? I need resources. There's a lot of people out there that have time that are just sitting around consuming media or doing whatever or watching football or who the hell knows what people are doing out there, and they're feeling dead and there's nothing going on, or they want to feel like they want to be a part of something. Now is it. This is it, right? This is the time. We are in the home stretch, guys. This is where we got to turn on all the heat. If you've got a lifetime of skills doing something and you can somehow contribute to this budding media company, right? Whether that's go out and do reporting, whether that's, come on, do interviews, whether that's you want to have a podcast, whether you want to be able to send money, whether you want to help research things, okay? If you got legal skills, right? That's important. We got a whole lot of jobs to do, and I got so many things to do that we can't do them all. So if you think you can contribute in any way at all, seriously, again, realtruthslinger@gmail.com. Realtruthslinger@gmail.com. Get involved.
And just so you all know that what he's saying is true, me and Tim haven't met each other not even a week ago, and look at us now, and just driving together, working together, like we've known each other for months. Uh, it's amazing, like it's the power of positive thinking. Is something that I have very very strong within me.
prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Like we gotta be in all this together. And we gotta just talk about what's true. And what can we do? Like sometimes some people just gonna have a tip. Like hey, pack up a lot of rice. Rices can be easily saved up. And in case of emergency, there's tips like that. Like anything that can you think that can be that you want to tell anybody else, like just come up to us, and we'll give you a little bit of space to share it. That's what the truth is about. It's about freedom of speech. Right now we have how many 1266 views on X. You guys are multiplying this by you guys are amazing. You guys want the truth, and you're tired of the mainstream media lie and all of this crap. So if anybody is from anywhere else in the world than America, like don't even be afraid. Come up and talk to us about what's going on in your
Well,
country.
Kenny, I'm just kind of curious. What's going on there in Canada? You want to tell us about some of the stupid Trudeau stuff going on up there?
Well, I gotta be careful. I don't want to end up in jail because I talk against him. But no, it's we are. I'm gonna be telling you honestly, like something that you can look for yourself. I have never seen in my life someone that is so down in the polls and then looks at you with a smile and said that he's not worried. That is, it's like if someone look at you like he's bleeding like to death, and let's say, hey man, you're bleeding. Yeah, okay, that's fine. With a smile, just
It's
keep
almost
walking.
like he knows something. Hmm?
Yeah, well, that's it. Like it's a common sense person. Is like you're asked why you so like, and every other, and even all the liberals. It's the whole liberals. Like they're so down in
Well,
the polls. Like, oh no, we're so confident. We're
what
confident in Justin Trudeau.
what killed me was when the trucker convoy started, and then they started killing bank accounts. That was absolutely insane to me when they started coming after bank accounts of those who were
You want me
involved
to
in the
stun you even more? I'm
freedom
gonna
freedom
stun you even
convoy.
more.
But hold on. Let me just say one. I also want your response to this, Kenny. What do you think about Justin Trudeau? Because Donald Trump mentioned it could be the Cuban guy's
Castro,
son.
Fidel
Fidel
Castro.
Castro's
Castro's son. Yeah.
Well, like if you put a picture of a monkey next to a dog, can you tell they're in the same family?
Correct.
But if you put two monkey next to each other, they're probably cousin, brother, sister. Just like my
So,
opinion
so,
is just
so,
what I
so
can
your,
see.
your thoughts are so just to get this straight, your thoughts are, Kenny, that they're probably related in one
I'm
form or fashion.
What I'm saying is, belief is the definition of belief. It's you're putting your faith in something that may or may not exist. Now, you know, if I see something, right, that Fidel Castro and Justin Trudeau are really alike more than Mr. Trudeau, and in their behavior, they're also really alike at this point. And the guy was an art teacher. What does art tells you? It's to be someone you're not.
Yeah,
To
and
pretend
also
to be
well,
somebody
also
else.
the wife situation.
Hey, did you guys see? Did you guys see that picture of when his eyebrow fell off?
No.
No.
Are you shitting me? There's a picture out there where his eyebrow has fallen off, and the only thing I can figure is that he's a crossdresser.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
absolutely.
you caught him in blackface. We all have the photo, right? His mother was obviously negotiating or having relations with the
No,
Canadian.
no, no, no. You cannot say blackface. You got to say African American face.
What?
Is that where we're at today, Kenny?
Ah, no, man. It's just like no, but here it's like everything we say can be considered hate speech now, pretty much.
Oh,
Like
that's
they want
right.
to hate speech police
This is
us.
recorded. I'm not afraid of saying blackface.
No, I mean either. I'm a believer of freedom of speech, but that's just you ask my opinion, what I think about him. That's that I'm making jokes, but that's basically what it is. It's like he's the kind of guy that says our strength is like diversity is our strength, and it's just as soon as he opens his mouth, it's like I'm losing 100 points of IQ. It's crazy, man. It's no, I no. He's got to go, and every time they want to talk about something, they cannot bring up actual solution to the problems. All they can do is attack
Well,
the
what do you feel?
opposition.
I really want to know what your thoughts are about the convoys that were going on and them freezing the
Well, the
bank account.
convoy.
Because
I had friends that were
I was paying into YouTube people leftover or hand over fist, and all those
some
bank
bank
accounts got
accounts.
frozen.
Some bank accounts have not yet been unfrozen. Did you know that?
I
I
would.
did not know that. That's insane to me. So that
That's
those
what
funds
I
are
said. I
because
can blow
here's the
your
deal:
mind even more. Some people don't.
Americans via social media were sending thousands of dollars. I was watching the money just roll in hand over fist,
Yeah,
right?
some people are forced to this day to still go to that, cash store place, and pay 10% of their paycheck. Plus, like we already like it's no, it's terrible, man. It's total authoritarian. And even as soon as the Supreme Court said no, it was illegal, Freeland come out and says no, we're going to appeal that. We're not like it's
So
Canada has become.
where's the freedom rallies in Canada? Where's the desire for freedom there? I mean, it seems like you guys are just being oppressed by your government. No offense.
Yes, and
Well,
the
it was
Palestinian protester at
yeah,
this point.
it was crushed, right? They crushed the rebellion, guys. I mean, I watched it happen. I watched it all live streaming. I mean, it's one of the reasons I do what I'm doing here, right? But we watched it happen. They brought the horses in and they just trampled down people in wheelchairs. They didn't give a shit. They just did it, and it was like they did it right in front of the whole world, right?
They're spending money, suspending bank accounts, and to some extent, actually trampling on people.
Yes, actually the same thing. And I mean, come on. Is it much different than the J6? There was that moment, right? It was their moment, and it was the same shit, right?
The moment that Canadian came together and it was like countrywide. I mean, it was. I had friends. I have my friends, battling cancer. That when on the overpass, and he showed me right live from his phone. When the convoy rolled in Ottawa, I saw it roll in Ottawa. From here, my house, and it was like so patriotic, man. It was amazing. And then when I saw, those horses trampling those old people. I was like, what? Are you serious? What is this?
Yeah, well, I feel like, this is happening more and more for all of us all over the world. I wake up every day, I see what I see, and I say, what is happening here? And it's not getting, and again, I think we should all be prepared, guys, that it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think that, like I said, I think that, God is going to use this as a rod of his anger. I mean, I think personally, corporately, nationally speaking, I think we've just aroused his anger too much. And I think he's kind of getting close to being done with long suffering with us. That's just my opinion. So, and I
Well,
think
it's Sodom and Gomorrah, isn't it? True.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I pretty much. I mean, we're to that point where it's like, and we've had and I mean, it does feel like God has removed his restraining hand from evil at this point, right? And that's not a good place to be.
Well, he's got to put his focus on his soldier to fight back that evil.
Yes. But again, I'm reminded of what it says in the New Testament that guys, don't be surprised at the trials that are going to come upon us, right? Like as if it's some crazy thing, right? They hated him first,
Well,
and they're going to
well,
hate us. They're going to hate us.
Hebrews says you're going to suffer as a believer in Jesus. So
Well, you know what? Then that was one of the parts where that scared the crap out of me. But when I read it and I went, "Holy crap! Okay, this is where it's at, right?" That we're going to be able to participate in the riches and the crown and the all the inheritance and all that if we suffer with him, right? It clearly says that in the New Testament, and it's like, and not everybody's willing to suffer. See, and this is going to separate the men from the boys, as they say.
Talking about who's we gonna separate. I see that we have a lot of women's in the audience, and I would like to invite you, ladies. Don't be shy. Come up on stage. I'd like to know your opinion as well. It's very valuable. The best team is not two men together; is a man and a woman. You guys can create a family and a legacy. I've never seen two guys create actually a legacy of 81 people. I've seen a man and a woman singly and Lilith doing it.
Yeah,
This
well,
is what our
we
path
love the
is
ladies
about.
in here, and we want to make sure that we understand when we, this whole patriarchy thing, man, that is ridiculous, man. And that when people use it, and that is a slur as well, because men and women, it's just that they have different roles, and I mean, the science tells us that, right? It
Yeah, you got to
confirms
work
it,
hand in hand.
right? And but yeah, absolutely, and we're just complementary. We're complementarian here, at least in my
And
view of
we
theology,
the
right?
men, our main job is to protect women.
Yes, it is. Of course, it
And,
is.
and their job is to make sure that while we're protecting them, they're happy, and they're just, doing what, holding on the family, holding the ties together,
Right. Well, and the other thing is, we shouldn't be sending our women off to war. Okay, that's the stupidest damn
Right.
thing I've ever heard. Okay,
Well, if they want to go, they can
nations
go,
don't
but
do that. Yeah, but
we shouldn't force them. Absolutely not. No, I agree.
yeah, it's suicide for a nation. I mean, think about it. I mean, when you had a tribe in Africa and all that stuff, well, if you all you need is one man, right?
Well, I mean, you look at the birth rates. The birth rates are down. What did Elon say? 40% in the past 3 years, or something along those lines.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't quote me on that. But the birth rates are down, and they're down to a point where really we're talking about generations now. The human race, at least in America, will cease to exist. So that means we'll be flooded by these other countries.
Right. There's no other choice. We're only at 1.7 children, and I think replacement rate is 2.2 or 2.4 children. Right.
Tidbit stop. Go tidbit stop. I'm gonna say it right. Tidbit stop pounder.
To ponder.
There
You
you
never
go.
heard of the word ponder?
Yeah, but altogether, I was just trying to be slicker with my English, but my tongue twisted.
You are doing fine, my friend.
Yes.
Merci beaucoup, mon ami. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, you lost me. I'm from the South. I only speak, Southern.
All right. Well, give it to me,
That's all
sister.
right.
Give it to me, sister. Let's have
Uh,
it.
uh, Southern women are different women. We're strong women.
Yes.
We will go out in the crops and the fields. We still farm down here. We know how to shoot. We can, we were raised and I'm older. I'm an old woman, but we were raised in a generation where our fathers would tell us, "You don't have to rely on a man for anything." I mean, there's women I don't know. I'm not very mechanical, but they can change a tire and fix an engine. We all have different skills, but we were raised to where we could protect ourselves. We've raised two generations. I know because I got a 30-year-old daughter and a 40-year-old daughter, and I raised them by myself. And they don't know because they have been taken away from the family group. They're raised now. They're all attached to their phones, their iPads. They said, "Mom, I don't want to live out on the farm. I like being convenient." It irritates me to no end. It's just
It,
10
it's
minutes.
harder. It's harder for youngins to get farms, though. What are your thoughts about that? Or it's harder for
Well,
youngins to get spots.
well,
But they don't
the
want to, though. That's the thing I think she's
that's the
saying.
point. We had land down here when I was growing up. We knew every family in the community, and they had kids. And then when the older people started dying or being sent to a nursing home or whatever, their kids didn't want the land. They didn't want to keep it up.
Right.
They wanted the cities. And my sister and I are the only ones in our family, and we got 190 acres.
Dang.
And it's hard to keep up.
Why do
My
they
dad,
want to go
my
to the city?
do what? I'm sorry.
Why do they want to go to the city?
It's convenient. It's easier.
The boars are cuter.
No, not necessarily.
Well, yeah,
So
No,
we live in a
they just gave
we
up on a
we
hundred and some odd acres
they're not
just to
the only
do.
kids. That's what I'm saying. Every farm that we had around here, there's there's no farming done anymore.
no,
It got
no,
too
they're not because the kids don't want to do it. They're instant gratification. That's the problem.
exactly, and also there it's expensive. Like we used to raise, we had a full farm, we had horses, we had cows. I grew up riding horses, but we had to give it up when me and my sister, or my sister and I, let me say the proper English, we went off to college or were grown up. And my dad died at 81 in 1981 when I was 24 years old. My mom couldn't work this land, and that was right about at the point I was starting my marriage. I built my house out here, but we didn't have enough strength to keep this land up. It's hard enough being a mom and work all day and then come home and do the farming. Farming takes a lot, and the kids went to public school. They went to private school. They don't get taught what we got taught. There's not enough family time. They live off of they don't even have paper in school anymore. They do their worksheets off of the computer. They don't get to take home books anymore. We used to have a section the teacher would go find this word in the chapter. She'd make sure we read the whole chapter and found the word. So I think we need to get back to education. And Mike Rowe does that program about trade schools and that is a wonderful project.
Yeah, and
I just,
I think that's a wonderful idea because I think that, the colleges have become indoctrination places, right?
Agreed.
And both of my daughters, neither of them speak to me anymore because I voted for Trump and because
We don't have that problem.
because I follow Jesus, okay? And my youngest daughter, who I won in a custody battle, the first one told me to go jump in the lake in a very much more crude way on social media of all places. He hasn't talked to me in many, many, many years. And then the other one I had for 4 or 5 years, but we sent her to Union University in Tennessee, in Jackson, Tennessee, and conservative Christian university. And the next thing you know, she's hanging out with like feminazis, and she graduates and she moves to Seattle, Washington, cuts her hair off, dyes it all purple, and changes her pronouns. Okay.
What's going on there? What's up with that? I mean, that is the definition of the woke mind virus right there, isn't it?
yeah.
It is, and I mean, I think that
It's who's teaching them.
I think I've got to go ahead.
I was going to say it's who's teaching them.
Yes, and see, here's the thing: when I was down in Hohenwald, Tennessee, and where are you in the South?
I'm Mississippi.
Mississippi. Okay, I was in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was a little town called Hohenwald. They used to call it Hole in the Wall.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was down there, and my kids, this was now going on like quite a while ago, but when they were like in junior high, they sent them home with a couple of assignments. One of them, and I made the mistake, as all I did is wrote letters, right? Because I didn't really understand what was going on back then. But one of them was they sent her home with a book to read, or research an author of the author that wrote Dinky Hocker Shoots Smack. I don't know if you remember that book, but I had to read it when I was a kid. But I don't know what the hell that was doing in school.
We didn't read that in the South.
Yeah, no, probably not. So anyway, but you look up the name, right, and she is
And that's why the people up north are weirder. Don't worry.
yeah, she's the inventor of teenage lesbian pulp fiction books.
Oh,
That's
wow.
already sound weird. Okay,
And
like
so-
what? No.
And so I was like, what in the heck? I mean, why can't we be, talking about reading Henry David Thoreau or, Tale of
Grapes
Two
of
Cities
Wrath
or Grapes of Wrath, whatever, the standard stuff, right? Oh, no. And so then the other thing is they came home with to make a coat of arms, right? And there was a whole list of stuff you can put on there, snakes and just a bunch of crap, vines and all this. But right alphabetically, where church, Christ, and cross, all of them were crossed off with Sharpie. It's like, well, what, you think we're stupid out here? That you're deliberately taking this stuff out. But see, I didn't march into the principal's office like I should have, which is why I'm going to be marching into the principal's office in Gorham in Maine, where the principal just said, I have just got done reading, little boys' balls are blue, and I find it acceptable to be in the Gorham High School system. And so I called that son of a bitch on the phone. We got it all recorded and streamed that live. You really want to go back through our highlights and check that shit out. Okay, because I called there and man, finally I got a hold of somebody, man, and started reading it as soon as they started, and they hung up on me. Right? They don't want to talk to me. Right? So the next step is I played nice. Next time I'm going to walk in there like I'm picking up my granddaughter, and I'm going to talk to this guy, and I'm going to go in there live stream it. And it's things that we all can be doing, and I should have been that engaged, and I always look back and say, could I have done something back then? Because I think I was in an evangelical church, man, and I think almost every single one of the children that went to the, all the Bible camps and all that crap, they've almost all gone prodigal.
So Truth, I'm just kind of curious, I'm speaking to you, single, have no kids, no girlfriend, 33, I chose a professional life for the last 10 years. A little bit of a regret there, but that's okay. At the end of the day, what does somebody like me do, right, to get involved in the local community? Is that a city board meeting? What does that look like?
Well, that's kind of what we're fleshing out right now. I mean, I think that all of us need to be looking at any opportunity to get behind a microphone and say something to a bunch of people that are forced to be a damn captive audience and sit there because that's what the law says, okay? And we need to do it respectfully, but go in there and be not bashful about our speech, right? And so one of the things that, for example, we're trying to cook up is the homeless, the encampment that we've got in Bangor. We had Ian there today, and he was our roving reporter, our new reporter down there, who is working with the homeless, goes down there often, and he ran across us, and he said, "Of course, I'll go down there and live stream it. We can talk to people down there." And bring a light on things like that. But one of the things that he said was, the guy Vito, I think we talked to him. He's a homeless guy. He was the first homeless guy in that encampment down there. He's been there the whole time. And they said, people have talked to me and said maybe you should go to the city council meeting, right, and speak up. And I'm like, yes, you need to do that, and we would love to go there and support you and live stream it, right, and get these SOBs on camera, right, listening to you, and then try and respond to you and say just exactly why the hell we're favoring illegal immigration, illegal migrants, and rents have doubled.
Sorry to interrupt, Truth, but you saw the woman that tried to do that the other day, and she got hauled out by the police.
Yeah, that's but you know what? Go as a group. That's why we got to do more of it, okay? Because sooner or later, they're not going to be able to haul us all out. And the other thing is we can make content out of it, man. Get that camera rolling. Wait. And so what? Okay, you're gonna, what's the worst thing you're gonna do? You're gonna book and you get out on signature bond, and you were, unruly. And probably what they do is they just most of the time take you the hell out of there because they just want to remove the irritant from the situation, right? So we need to continue to do that. And one of my friends is Matt Baker, and if you're not following him, okay, at slave_2_liberty. He is the California Viking, and I've interviewed him, and he's a great friend. And he was one of those ones that went and had an epic rant. Okay,
but Tim, in reality, we need to organize our assemblies. Yeah, I mean, that's really what needs to happen.
More people,
and when you go in there, you got to make sure, like if you say what you have to say, and if they want to kick you out, and like you just obey by the rules, because you are not there to to get arrested at the end of the day. You're there to show the truth to everybody. And if they kick you out that day, then you come back when you're allowed to, or you bring another group with the same message.
Right,
They can't just kick you all out of the whole town.
The best part about our Constitution is it allows for the freedom of assembly.
Right.
So we need to assemble. We need to have a system for assembling, and we do not have that today.
Well, and let me tell you something. One of the things that we're doing here is that this podcast has had a main focus. It's had a local focus because I absolutely believe, you're asking what can you do? It starts at the local level, right? First of all, we're going to have very little effect on federal policy. You're not really going to ever have the opportunity to run across a federal politician, so one of our senators or whatever. You're usually going to be able to reach, though, right, our local people. And so, I think that that's really important. And so I'm trying to use X in a way to focus and highlight local people, local politicians, find ways to get them resources, crosswire people that can do research to get political opposition research, essentially making these people's campaigns more effective, right? And so there's all these things that we're trying to do in multiple ways. And of course, one of the other things you can do, and I'll just have to say it again because I have to be shameless at this point to say financial support is very important to this growing network, right? As much as we can, if you can, this is support something. Look, get some skin in the damn game, right? And that's the thing. And like if there's, drag queen story hour, expose it, go, show up, film it. Get with me. Let's make content. Let's get it out there because that's the only way we're going to be able to stop this is by exposing it to the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's why I've decided to pair up with Tim, here from Canada, because the more voices sometimes, like if he's doing something live, I can be covering it, all the way from here. It doesn't matter. Like again, like we need to all do this together, and anybody like that you think, and that's like you got to get out of your comfort zone. It's because if you're not, they're gonna come and take it from you. That's just a simple, like, and I like to say to people that tells me, oh, but I'm not interested in politics. They all liars. I'm like, I don't care. Exactly. If they all liars, you're not interested in politics, but politics is always going to be interested in you. Like they're interested in your paycheck that you made, and like, go speed a little bit, and you may think it's not political, but who makes your law? It's not the police, it's not the judge, it's the people you elect. So, that why can't you put that, that 24-foot garage in your backyard? Well, because your township doesn't allow you to, because they decide the rules at the very basic level. They control your backyard. And then your state, your province, whichever country you are, controls different thing, and then the federal controls different things. So, I am been in a position here where I want to bring up ideas. I want to get to know the people in this town because I live in a very small town, and probably, in a couple of years, go and try to beat those people that are not doing their job properly at the municipal office. Yeah, but like I'm not gonna be able to do it if I just sit here and I don't talk to people and I don't listen to what they have to say that they're scared to say. So Truth is doing something amazing here, giving us all the chance to do this. It's thank you all for being here. If you want to take the mic, raise your hand. I will bring you up. No problem. There is no trolling allowed in here. We all respectful and we're all humans, guys. And ladies. Uh, we're all in this together. Um, I love this. Thank you, Tim, for allowing us. Please come up, talk to us, tell us what's going on where you are. What's your worried? What's your solution? Whatever. You got any good recipe or, a good old joke? Anything.
Well, I do have to ask, does anybody have any opinions about what's going on in Aurora, Colorado, and what's going on with our southern border that's allowing that to happen? Does anybody have any comments on that? Because in my opinion, it's been absolutely ridiculous to see Venezuelan gangs taking over apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado. I've got family
Well,
that lives not
I'm
far
gonna leave.
away.
Joshua, are you there? Can you answer our friend here for us? I think you will be our specialist for Aurora, Colorado.
Absolutely. Well, Aurora, honestly, has just gone from worse to even worse. I mean, it's gone from bad to worse. Just everything we're seeing here, even our local food places here. I mean, just to go get something to eat, or just to go buy some groceries. Before it was very nice. You'd go in, you'd come out. Now you can't go out without being heckled or being just asked for money. And these people are not even asking for a dollar. They're asking for so much money. And it just comes to everything from the policies that are at our southern border. All these policies are what have they have contributed to having these people in here. I'm currently today. I'm actually in Texas, and I've been just talking to people here and just seeing how Houston is, and Houston is definitely the way things are here. It's just absolutely. I mean, it's probably 10 times worse than Aurora, Colorado, even though they're not mentioning it. because of the illegals that are coming here, and because of the illegals that are just wreaking havoc. I mean, Houston wasn't known for tent cities, but now there's tent cities here everywhere. And funny thing that you should mention the Venezuelan gangs. I was looking at a report a couple of months ago in Times Square where they're actually using the Row Hotel, which was a great hotel. I actually stayed at the Row a few times, and these hotels are full of Venezuelan people. And these people are literally getting high, doing cocaine, having sex on the stairways, and just doing all sorts of things on taxpayer money, because this is what the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris government is doing. They're allowing these people, and the hotels don't care because they're getting money. They're sold out every day. Um, but the crazy thing about it was that I saw that they were giving them sandwiches and things for them to eat. And the Venezuelans on camera were saying they're feeding us like dogs. And I couldn't help but to think, I mean, you're here, first of all, illegally. And you should be glad you're getting a sandwich with tuna fish or whatever the hell it is you're getting. You're here illegally on our taxpayer money. And then it just, it was really tough because I saw just these people, these arrogant people, because in Venezuela, they might have gotten away with getting everything for free, but in this country, things are very different. And unfortunately, the US government nowadays have become so socialist, and they've become such just a despicable government, to be honest. And honestly, I would say that here, I would say that to their faces, because our government is not recognizable. When they're letting these people in, and when there's veterans who fought, veterans who gave it all, in Afghanistan. Even with a brother of mine who died in 2003 in Afghanistan, and when I saw all this craziness going on, and just to know that so many of soldiers, so many veterans, are being mistreated because of
Joshua, have you
reasons.
following up? Have you seen a response as a result to all the media? I mean, has there been any kind of, hey, we need to take back these apartment complexes?
Well,
Nothing
the
going on
media.
locally?
Well, the thing is with the media is saying, and the media, and not only the media, but like I said earlier, there was a sheriff from Aurora who said there is nothing, they haven't taken over anything, which is, it's a complete lie. These people are trying not to alarm, but honestly, anyone who lives in Aurora, any of us who have homes in Aurora, who have family in Aurora, know that they're taking over just the whole town. They're taking over Denver, but it seems like Aurora, since it's a suburb of Denver, it's much easier for them to grasp and to grab a hold of it. Um, and honestly, there's no accountability. Our governor, Governor Polis, is a douchebag. Just to say it politely, who doesn't really care. They don't see a problem. But this comes from, what is it, $94 million that the city of Denver has spent on housing migrants. So there's no accountability in these blue states. Unfortunately, there's no accountability. No one, everybody passes the buck on, and honestly, it's just going to get worse. And if God
Yeah.
forbid these people win again, this is just going to get even worse in Aurora.
So that's why we need to share the truth and share the word together. I see we got Howard here that got his hand raised. We'll give him the floor, and then Eric has his hand raised as well. So, and then I think Frankie just joined us too. Thank you very much, guys. Howard, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the name of this space, so I just wanted to come in here and see if there's any confirmation that that's exactly what the Hell's Angels are doing. Is that they are going to Aurora? Has there been any confirmation that they are on their way?
Well,
I have. I saw some video of. Sorry, I saw a video of. It's on my page. I shared it. It's of one of the bikers talking about how he's acquired more riders. So
and
it's a video. It's a video on the internet. So
well, so our friend here, Joshua, is going to be back home in Aurora tomorrow, and I think he said he will go and take some information more for us here at the news Truthslinger Network. So thank you very
That'd
much,
be great.
Joshua, for that.
That'd be great to have tomorrow night, Joshua. If you have that video, we'd love to see it.
We'll try to stream it live here if possible.
Absolutely.
We'll share the news as much as possible. Follow us through Slinger, myself, Kenny Crow, Joshua. Follow all three of us, whatever. We'll be sharing it. We want to give you the truth. We want to give you the news that the mainstream media won't give you. We are unbiased. We're right now not making any money from that, but like you are the one that's gonna be helping us keeping the truth going. Eric, the floor. If were you good with that, Howard? Is that a good answer for you?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I was just gonna say, I was just gonna say that basically that
well,
it's pretty sad that our government won't step in, the police won't step in, so a
well.
biker
There've been.
gang that's
Wait, I think Joshua said earlier he's got had confirmation that two Venezuelan were dead due to a gang fight. I think, right?
There are two people in one of the complexes on Mississippi Avenue that were killed. They're not Venezuelan, but there were two people that were killed as a result of a Venezuelan gang. So that's what
Oh, so
I
they could be American people that are dead.
absolutely, yeah. They're two.
Oh,
From what I heard, they're
okay.
two residents. They're
Well,
two
that does
residents
change things, right?
in the
Whoa.
apartment
That does
complex, and
change things. Yeah.
I'm still looking
No,
for more
yeah.
information. But
No, that's
yep, it's bad. It really is bad. The videos don't do it justice to what we've seen in Aurora. Living in Aurora, videos don't do justice for what's been going on for months now. This is not, something that just started this week. This has been an ongoing issue.
Well, listen, if you know what we really need you to do is we really need you when you get back there to reach out to people, and I want to talk to people, and I want to get them on, and maybe even have some interviews, and I want to talk to some people and tell us about how they're terrified. Right? We need to get this out here because I'm just very concerned that the local media isn't just covering this at all, and they're just buying the line they're being fed by local law enforcement.
Absolutely. It truth. It's definitely it's election season, and if there's one thing the Democrats are good as is obscuring the truth and hiding it. But definitely, when I get back, I'm gonna do all I can to try to get some people on camera and also some video
And
for you
if
guys.
there's one thing the Democrats are good at is obscuring the truth and hiding it. But
All right, that audio was just a little bit muddled. So you want to check your audio on that, and you're a little bit muddled. Who wants to have a step up to the mic here? I'm going to make a
I
cup of.
think we lost our righteous
Might
indignation.
might be.
I might have dropped out
Yeah, yeah.
as he was talking.
Perhaps, yeah. His audio wasn't very good. I'm going to get a cup. I'm going to get a cup of coffee in a second, guys. So just keep carrying the stream for me for a minute. And I'll be
Well,
right back.
Eric. Yep, Eric. If you want the floor, I'm gonna give you the floor right now.
All right, great. Um, I just want to be, I guess I'm going to be somewhat politically incorrect here. I don't refer to these folks as immigrants or migrants. I'm from the old school. What we call these people are illegal aliens,
I
and
wouldn't
they're
call
in our
them alien.
country. They're in our country illegally. And one of the things that I think that we all need to be aware of, where did the virus come from? Came from China, right?
Yeah, and they
And
keep the
and
border open,
what did
right?
that lead to? That led to
I don't want
all
to.
the
Here's the
election
deal: the
laws being
virus.
Oh,
changed.
oh, Spencer, let him speak. Let him speak, please.
That
Yes.
led to all the election laws being changed, and led to all these drop boxes. You had the Zuckerberg bucks. I think he spent like $400 million putting these drop boxes in the inner cities, which then led to 2,000 mules and all the votes illegally cast. I mean, there's videos of people coming up there with handfuls of ballots and stuffing them in those boxes. And so it all originated in China. And I don't know if you guys can remember back about a year ago that we had these Chinese spy balloons floating across the United States. And I think it went on for several weeks. I believe it was in the winter, maybe of 23. And I think they actually shot one down at some point. Um, and now we have military age men who are being funded by the CCP that are coming up through the Darien Gap in Panama, and these guys got money. They've got money, and it's got to be coordinated by the government, by the Chinese Communist Party. And these military age men are walking across our border, and there's thousands of them here.
There's an estimated 200,000 CCP soldiers in this country now.
Exactly, exactly. And here's something that a lot of people don't realize, because guess what? The MSM's not going to tell you. They're actually buying up thousands of acres of American farmland.
That's right.
Now, why is that?
Right next to military bases.
Exactly. Why are they doing that? It's all coordinated, guys.
Why are we allowing it to be done? Because
Well, you know what?
because
Sarah Huckabee Sanders in Arkansas made them pass a law where they couldn't buy land in Arkansas.
right. We needed to have that everywhere. I mean, it's ridiculous that they can do that. I mean, it's like a duh. I mean,
It's a powder keg. We're sitting on a powder keg. And guys, look, I was raised a Christian, grew up going to church with my grandparents. Simply a guy by heart. And I got to tell you, I think we're living in the last days. I really do.
I agree.
And it scares me to even say that. But I think that we need to be very aware, because here's the problem that I have right now. Our government is not being
Eric, I
honest
think we're
with
losing you a little bit. You're cutting in and out, it
Yeah,
seems.
yeah. See if you could be at a place where your signal's good, Eric, before you
Are
go
you
in.
moving around?
Is that better?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I think that we've got people in power that are not actually representing us. We pay their salaries, and they're not doing their jobs.
They're gone
And I think it's
rogue.
on both sides. I think it's on both sides of the aisle. I don't think it's Democrats or Republicans. It's the uniparty.
Yes.
Yes.
But I'm concerned. I'm concerned. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's why we're here. That's why we're here, just to speak about those concerns together, and to
yeah. Well, and I kind of want to ask a question, right? Because I want to pose it to a group now that we got a nice big group here. And by the way, I don't know how many people we got
Can
viewing
y'all
over
drop
on
me down
X.
so somebody else can come up?
Yeah. Come on, let's go.
So Eric was talking about the origin at some point in this conversation.
hold
I
on,
really appreciate.
hold on, Spencer. Hold on. Tidbit, if you want to if anybody wants to drop, and if you don't think you're going to talk again, you can drop and leave the space for someone else, or you can stay and carry on with the conversation. Nobody's forcing you out. Be involved in the conversation, be respectful, let people finish what they're cooking up, and then take the floor after. We'll give you the floor. I like.
Yep.
No, I was trying to drop down, but I don't know how. I'm new.
Oh, it's the three little dots on the top.
Uh huh.
You know, you're gonna see. Listen. Well, me it said
Switch
stop
to
co-hosting.
listening.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
Y'all,
much for
thank you
being
for the
here,
kind
dear.
We
request.
really enjoyed you. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna give you a follow.
Yep. Hey,
Spencer, the floor is yours.
so
Well,
real quick,
I
we got.
just
Oh,
I just want to interject that we've got 70 to 1,750
wow.
people watching on
Whoa.
X. Okay, so this is a hot conversation. The chat is on fire, and the kind of stuff that I'm reading is that the amount of truth that's being dispensed here, right? Just because of ordinary people that are patriots, real patriots, and people that are concerned. It's just off the chain. I've never experienced anything like it. I didn't expect this to be when Crow and I said, "Hey, let's do this," and I said, "Hey, yeah, let's try this, man," and whatever. And I said, "Hey, I can live stream it too." I just didn't expect that it was going to be like this. So
I
we're gonna
just said, let's go into space, man. Yeah, let's go into space and talk about it.
and it,
Why not?
yeah, and it's just fire, man. The chemistry
And he says,
is
well, what time? I
wonderful.
says, well, why don't we just do it now? We're on fire now. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So yeah, well, but we've been doing nothing but talking. Like Crow and I have been like constantly. Like, we just get on. And it's like, hey, you want to pop on and let's just bullshit together, because we're just feeding off of each other, and the energy is palpable. It's great. I mean, it's just like we're constantly, both of us have the hair on our arms standing up. I don't want to sound gay or anything, you know what I'm saying? But we got it going on. We got the bro love going on, right? So we're excited, but anyway, just to
Just so you know, I love women. I'm not gay.
I just buzzing your balls, man. But yeah, this is turning out great, and it's being great because of
Now that sounded gay.
yeah, but because of all of you people out there that make this great. Now I'm going to switch the rules a little bit as we go here. So if you're sitting on our panel now and you're a speaker, okay, I'm gonna treat you all like grown ups since you all been good, right? And we're gonna like ease up the moderation pedal here. And so we can speed up the conversation a little bit. If you want to jump in, just unmute yourself as long as you're a speaker so we can have a lively conversation. Don't talk over each other unless we're going to go back to making people raise all their hands and shit again, okay?
Thanks. That's going to give me a little break.
Yeah, right. Okay. So let's just open it up a little bit, and I think it'll work good. I think we got a good crew in here.
I just want to bring up a thing to just maybe a conversation piece. Anybody else ever think about how the four horsemen of the apocalypse are white, red, black, and green, and that's the colors of the mainly all Muslim flags? I thought that was interesting.
Damn.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you start going down that rabbit hole of all that kind of imagery that we've got going on in all sorts of things, all throughout our culture, all throughout our flags, and you start seeing all these echoes, yeah, it's hard to stop seeing it,
It started with October 7th, and the eclipse seems like it ramped it up, and then and then now it's just been on rapid fire.
Well, I was expecting that we were going to go home 40 days after. I thought that was the sign of Nineveh. Okay, I was damn straight.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I had my
Yeah,
bags packed.
Oh, well, with the red heifer thing going on and everything at the same time, and then
Right.
yeah.
Right. Well, I got an interesting thing to throw out there in a minute, but I'm not quite sure which one I want to ask first. I mean, I've been asking all of my guests, right? So look in your crystal ball and say, what do you see like between now and and the inauguration? But I guess the bigger question that I have so many, but the bigger question that I have is, you're aware that we go through cycles in culture, right? And even in the Bible, in the Old Testament, Israel constantly was like a yo-yo. It was like a paddle ball, pop, 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 going back and forth away from God. And what happened was they would stray off into idolatry and, wickedness and all this kind of stuff. And then God would use Israel's enemies to chastise them, like as the rod of his anger. That's typically how it works. And so this cycle goes on and on and on. And if you look at this cycle, it also, happens that we've got, the fourth turning, and then we've got, the good times create weak men create bad times create good men, where we're at in that kind of cycle. And you see lots of models that are sort of reinforcing this whole thing about the cyclical nature. And the next question I have is it going to get, like, are we at the end? Like, is this getting wrapped up? I mean, is Jesus coming back soon?
The cycles go about every 250 years, and that's about where we're at. So
right. So yeah, so we're ripe for so the question becomes, okay, it's going to be hard times, which is going to create good men. I think it's going to purify the church. Perhaps it's going to bring in the last of the elect, and then it's time to wrap this thing up. He's going to bring in the rest of the Jews. Whatever Israel is Israel at that time, whatever God's plan for Israel is, and then it's going to we're going to do this. And the weird part is, I heard a Jewish guy that I was listening to who says that Donald Trump is going to be the one that's going to pave the way for the building of the third temple.
Well, you saw the temple coin, right? The Donald Trump temple coin that Jerusalem put out.
No, I didn't.
It's got him and King Cyrus on the front and the third temple on the back.
Oh shit.
I mean, yeah, Jerusalem's selling them.
Yeah, see now
Uh,
here's the weird part. We still need Trump as president, but it's like but also prophecy's going to happen. There's nothing we can do to stop that.
Right.
I
At this point, it's at this point, I'm ready when you are, Lord.
yeah. I mean, really. I mean, I don't know. I got lots of different views on the end times too. I'm very confused about that. And I mean, like I said, I've been to seminary and stuff too. Like I'm supposed to know this stuff, right? And I didn't pay as much attention to it 20 years ago. But now you see all this stuff going on, and I'm like, oh, I'm interested in it now. So I start reading about it and blah, 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 blah. And it's just, I'm still looking through the same dim glass that I was when I started. Okay. I'm still can't find my ass with both hands right now in regards to how this whole thing is going to go because it's just vague enough, right, that you can't actually, and there's all these, rabbit holes of pre-mill, post-mill, this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 so on and so forth. I just know that still that Jesus is coming back, and it's going to get pretty raw, and I'm even questioning the rapture. I was pretty much a rapture kind of guy, but that came out of the whole Schofield Bible thing, right? Now I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Like maybe we have to
Yeah,
go for the ride.
the rapture is and I've gone down this rabbit hole quite a bit, and I've heard a lot of good pastors say that don't fall for the rapture because I mean if you're believing in the rapture coming, the rapture's going to come, we're going to be out of here before the bad times, and then you're not, what's going to happen to your faith at that point?
Right,
So it's a thing of, I believe there's going to be suffering, absolutely. I look at Jesus and the way he suffered, and it's and most all of the apostles suffered, and and the Bible basically says, you know you're gonna basically suffer, but it's you're gonna the kingdom, you're gonna acquire the kingdom of God. So it's I don't I'm not holding my breath for the rapture to be out of here before the
so
bad
here,
times. I'm expecting it.
right.
there's a Jewish perspective as an Orthodox Jew. There's a Jewish perspective on this, and there's a Jewish prophecy where it says that the temple would be in ruins, kind of as what it is now, and that these red fox would come out to play, and then we would know that salvation is near. Be that may be Jesus, be that may be the Messiah that the Jews are waiting for. Maybe the Messiah is Jesus. But it's a really beautiful prophecy that it does says that there would be people looking out from the Mount of Olives at the temple, and they would see foxes playing, and as soon as they would see that, they would know that the redemption is close. I've talked to Christian friends who they do believe that that is the coming of Jesus, and it's just something that nowadays, especially in the last year, we've seen so many foxes come out to play in Temple Mount, where obviously there's a mosque currently
Yes,
that is sitting
Al-Aqsa Mosque.
exactly that is sitting on our temple, but I don't think that I don't think that I've ever seen any
Well,
prophecy as
the
close
Jews
that.
aren't the Jews aren't even allowed to pray on the Temple Mount,
No,
right?
we're not. We're allowed to go visit, but we can only go into like the outer courts, and then they kick us right out. They don't let
Right.
us
That's
pray
unbelievable.
or
Look
yeah,
how
they
it
don't
is
let us.
right now, okay? Like the top three people here, like you got Truth is a Christian. Whatever, like neo-Christian, like I would say, and then we got a Jewish, an Orthodox Jewish. Like how much diversity is there? Like we all three have different beliefs, and
There you
we
go.
get along perfectly.
Yeah,
Oh,
Absolutely.
I got a couple of
I'm married to a Jewish woman. And I'm a hardcore. She's a Messianic Jew. She believes in Jesus, but I love the Jewish people.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is very interesting, and I want to. I'm going to see if I can't find it, but I heard a guy that he goes over to Israel, and he reads portions of the Old Testament, such as scriptures out of Isaiah and whatever that foretell, of the Messiah and the suffering servant, past passages. And what's really interesting is they ask them all these Jews, they asked them, "Is that from the Old Testament or is that from the New Testament?" And they all said, "Oh, that's definitely the New Testament," because it was so clearly speaking of Jesus. So, Joshua, I want to have an opportunity to definitely talk with you sometime. And I don't even want to say debate, but I do want to sit there and talk about why it is that Jesus is not seen by you as fulfilling some of these critical key prophecies in the Bible as the way I see it, and I see it very clearly, and I just want to understand how it is that some of these scriptures are written off to be, well, that's
And I
not a
want to be
man
there. I want to
national.
listen to this. I want to be there. I want to be able to question, you know,
Yeah, yeah, and
from a
maybe, yeah,
different perspective that is completely different than all both of you.
yeah, right, right, and maybe we can even have him we can even have a moderator. Maybe Crow can moderate it or something, man. It might be
Yeah,
really
because I'm
cool,
I'm in
right?
neither side, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, so I would like to have that discussion. I've got another Orthodox friend that is I just met. He's in the Republican Party here in Maine, and I really want to have the same conversation with him. And what was interesting, he said, "Yeah," he goes, I'd love to have that debate." He goes, "You probably know more about Jesus than I do. I don't know a lot about Jesus." And I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be good. This is going to be good." I can't see how there's going to be bad downside to this. So you'll want to look forward to that. And if you want to do that with me, I'd love to have you, Joshua, sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good, good, good. Well, we'll make arrangements. You stay in touch, and all of you definitely got to stay close to us. Stay close to the Truthslinger Project, and any resources you can bring to bear on this. It's important. I mean, this is go time, guys. This is the home stretch here, right?
We got author Mary Utz that's just joined us here from Alabama, it seems. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Come on, play.
Don't be shy.
Mhm.
Are you having issue with your mic or something? No.
Yeah, can
Oh,
you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Did that?
yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is only the second time I've spoken, and I have trouble with my mic every time because I'm learning.
Well, we got you. We
Uh,
hear you now. 5 by 5, sweetheart. Welcome to the
okay.
conversation.
Well, thank you. I wanted to address a little bit of why or of the excuse that the police in Aurora are using for not going there. They are saying that the apartment complex has been condemned and that nobody is supposed to be living there, and therefore, if there are illegal immigrants there, it's okay that the other people are supposed to already be gone anyway.
Well, there's still power in there, so that's a complete lie there.
Well, how are they?
Yeah, but
Yeah, and how
that's
are they
what they're
charging the people
saying.
rent? I
Yeah.
heard they're charging the people rent or protection or something.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yep. They're
that's
apparently charging them like a protection
Yeah.
fee. Hmm.
And
yeah,
abandoned building are forced to be disconnected from the power grid by law because they're abandoned. So that otherwise, it just causes fire.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
So
That
if there was any illegal in there and they have power, that would be breach of the law as well. Because if it's abandoned, well, you should not supposed to have any power in there.
yeah. And they should be keeping people out because it's dangerous.
Well,
And
thank
they
you
should
for
be.
this input. That's really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Okay. That's all. I just wanted to tell you about that.
Well,
So where did you get? Where do you? Which news? Where did you get that info from? On the news, or someone told you, or
I got it off of X when I'm
okay?
going through. I have a lot of people that I'm vetting who want a
Well, I
follow
see you
back,
got a lot of followers,
and
so
and
I take your word seriously.
yeah, yeah. So
Like you got.
I can't remember which person I read it on, but it was more than one. So I think it's right.
Well, thank you for your input, Mary. Like, really appreciate it. I'm going to give you a follow. I'm going to be one of the first 25,000 of your followers.
All
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
any other perspectives?
Well,
Well,
I'm. Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
oh no, I was just saying. I'm seeing that rumors are beginning to circulate that Kamala Harris may drop out of the debate with Trump after her disastrous interview on CNN. So, Thought that was interesting.
And I heard a rumor. It's a rumor. I'm not putting any weight into it, but I just want to put it out there that something about JD Vance might have a family thing, and RFK might take Trump's VP. Now, I am not putting that out as news, like I said, but that's something I heard. And so, if it does
Whoa.
happen, you guys heard it first here.
Whoa, yeah,
Wow.
I would have heard hear from you first, but that will be a game changer because then they're forced to give back security service to RFK.
Yep.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I don't
That
even.
is a no, that's
It,
chess, man. That is a game of chess. They're not playing checker, they're playing chess, man. And that is a bold move, man. And you got to read through the line.
Oops.
That's what I'm good at, man. Like I hear something like this, it's like bam, like I'm
well,
not. I'm,
it really worries me because we have September 18th. Trump goes to court. We have the army posted up in a freaking hotel there for some reason. I heard somewhere, I don't remember exactly where, again, another rumor. I heard that the police were going to do a mass call off that day because they don't want to be involved with the Trump arrest. So, hence the army. Okay, so we have the September 18th. Okay, then we have. I also heard. I mean, a lot of things, but I heard that October 7th. That was the day we went to Afghanistan, which is also October 7th for Jerusalem. That's a big day for them. Apparently, they hold a lot against us, and apparently they're not very happy. And I heard that basically don't try not to make many plans on October 7th. I'm not sure if things are going to happen. I heard things are supposed to happen.
Right.
Okay. And then we have the election. So, I mean, any three of those could go off. Um, it's
Well,
just, I'm hoping for
we
the
may,
best, praying for the best.
I'm not even sure that we're going to get to an election. Honestly, I think that it's quite possible that we're going to have something pop off, and it's going to be like, oh, sorry, can't have an
Yeah.
election now.
The left
Yeah,
isn't going to give up. The left isn't going to give it up. Not easy, at least.
No, 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 no. It's not. It's not. They
they
can't.
have
They
too much
can't.
involved.
They can't let him become president. They cannot. Okay.
No, they all go to
People
jail.
are going to swing. Right. Right. I mean, it's true. People are going to go to jail, right? And because there's been laws broken, there's been illegality, and he knows where the bodies are buried, man. And I'm quite
Yeah, down
sure.
to the poison in the food. I mean, RFK will go after that. Trump's going to go after the bodies in the backyard. I mean,
Yep.
geez, it'll be a shit show if they get in there, and they know that. The left knows that, so there's no way, man. I hope, I pray, but I mean,
Trump,
prepare for
Trump
the
told you.
worst.
Trump told you what he was going to do from day one. I mean, even before when he was against Hillary, he told you in the debate you'd be in jail. There's your answer, right?
That's
All
right.
that stuff is going down.
But he didn't do it. That's the
Well,
thing. He did
No.
not do it.
Yeah, but he didn't do it because he didn't want to put a president's wife in jail because he didn't think it'd be because he's got couth. But now
Yeah,
after he's been through all this shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I
Right.
mean,
Now
at this point, it's payback
they
time,
shot at
guys.
him. They shot at him. Look, there's like three
fucking on.
people
Yeah.
right now that I'm looking at got Trump's picture on their Trump's fight picture on their profile picture. Like that. I don't see no Kamala picture here. I don't see no Walls pictures. I see Trump. I see patriotism.
Oh, I'm
I
getting
don't see
that
Tim
tattooed
Tom.
on me. I'm getting that tattooed on me. I mean, that's like I can't believe I sat and watched that live. I mean, that
Okay.
to me is
Okay.
unbelievable.
There's almost like I will be honest here, in front of everyone, all right? Like the day that I was not really a God believer before, but the day that Trump got shot, something in my house, I was coming down the stairs and something white walked in front of me. And I walked back just to see if it was like what the light or something, and then I walked in front of my office and I looked at the computer and Trump got shot. Like just like minutes prior, like it just happened. And then I start looking into it, and this was my journey to like, no, this is it. Like we got to get the truth out. We got to speak up. That they just tried to shot Donald Trump. Like they shot
Yeah,
on Trump. Like this was to me as a Canadian, this was a complete attack on democracy and free speech.
oh yeah,
Guys, if you're not-
and yeah, absolutely. And Trump's reaction afterwards, oh my God. I mean, you couldn't I can't wait. I hope this country survives this so there can be a amazing movie made about that. This whole shit show. Um, I really do. I hope we survive this to where there can be an amazing movie about this story because it is a fucking story, man. Holy crap. We can I mean, it's beyond parody. Like, I mean, I was trying to come up with some good memes and jokes about Waltz, but I mean, I can't. Everything's true.
Yeah, right.
It's
well,
hilarious.
I came with a good one about Walls yesterday. Like then he put and I don't use Tim puns.
Man, that the whole Tim Pom
No,
thing is absolutely
no,
ridiculous, man. It's so
I, I, I
that-
say
Well,
horse flies
I'll just
low.
tell you the biggest problem I have with it all. The biggest problem I have with it all is the inflation over the last 4 years. Is the amount of money is the amount of goods that you can buy with $1 today. It's gotten absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you look at this. You look at the drive of inflation, the value of the U.S. dollar, the value of home prices, the federal interest rate, the U.S. debt, the credit card debt. And if you guys didn't know, the buy now, pay later debt. So if you guys didn't know, the credit card debt and the buy now, pay later debt are at all time highs, and they're also at all time highs for back payments.
yes,
So,
and defaults, right? People are starting to default. This all is on the verge of
yeah,
collapse. Okay, it really, really is. Let me tell you
Well,
something else.
it's all the plan for the digital currency.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I believe. This is all like one world crap. We're moving right into the, spider's, web. And, I believe it's the World Economic Forum
Yeah, the
talking
globalists,
about a
Carl.
digital one world currency.
Yes, Klaus Schwab.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let's face it,
Well,
we
the
don't have
mosquito.
a
Hey,
Well, the
we don't have
mosquito
a pres
thing.
we don't
Uh,
have a president right now. We have
no.
no one that's in the position. Kamala's out doing her thing, and Joe's been on vacation for like 20 days straight.
Well,
So,
you heard about them. Now there's closures, school closures and shit for the
Well,
West
hold on,
Nile
hold
virus.
on, hold on. Let me be clear here, okay? If you have watched the CNN interview with Harris, like it's something that didn't not a lot of people caught on, but I caught on it, and I think I sent it to you, Tim. I'm not sure, but in the interview, they said, clearly that Biden, after a very terrible, thing at the debate, and then they put Biden, that resigned. I thought that Biden resigned because of health issues. And then CNN saying that it was because of the debate. Well, now CNN's saying the truth all of a sudden, so if you
Right.
haven't watched it, I invite you to go read back the intro before Harris came on stage, right? Go watch it again, watch it for yourself, do your own research. Don't take me my words for granted. I may be a liar. So go look at it for yourself. But I swear to God that CNN stated clearly that he dropped out because of the debate and not because of, they
You're
never
the
said
you're
anything about his
you're
health.
the first person I've heard say anything about that. So I will
And
watch
I'm
it.
made in Canada, brother. I'm made in Canada, but I watch for you
I
out.
love Tom McDonald, so hey, man, I love Canadians too.
No, but this is my opinion. You guys, Americans, and that's why I have so much respect for you. If it was not for the protection that we get from you guys, I wouldn't be speaking the language I speak right now. I would probably
Yeah,
be not be able to do what I'm doing now.
I got no problem with no people. It's the governments I don't like.
Exactly. You, the people are beautiful American people. I love you. You guys are like innovators and you're fighters and you are the backbone of society that we need, that
Except Kamala
sustain.
Harris.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
Good
well,
fortune.
wait a minute. You're a racist. It's
Mhm.
Kamala. Okay, it's Kamala. All right.
no, English is a second language, so I can say it's Kamala.
Yeah,
No,
it's
if you want to trigger libs, just spell it Cumallah. That will really
Oh,
piss him off.
Kamala,
Listen,
yeah.
listen, you guys were just talking about Jesus, so I can't tell you how I really feel. But ask me in private, and
Oh
then
no,
we'll
you can
talk.
say whatever you want, brother. We're
Hey,
open.
this is a welcome space, and we welcome all opinions.
Yeah, we cursing's welcome. Just try to hold down the GD is all, but
Yeah,
everything
Well,
else is welcome.
here's what I'm going to
I'm
say.
forgiving
I've got to
them.
Freedom of
be a good
speech.
Jewish Orthodox
Yeah.
Jew, so I
Yeah,
will not say a cuss word. But yeah, man. But thank you so much for loving us Americans. We love Canada too, just not
Well, I
Justin
hope so.
Trudeau.
Otherwise, we'll send you back all of our immigrants that you send here.
Just not Justin Trudeau. Everyone else we love
No,
except
no,
him.
no. I honestly, this guy, we want to send Diplo to the melting ice in the Arctic.
yeah, right. So yeah, man. I just really think one of the greatest things is that we've got some sort of ecumenicism going on. We've got some sort of agreement going on, a vibe of all of us getting together. And I think what this is people are starting to wake up and realize that this isn't about us versus them, left versus right, Jews versus Christians, blacks versus whites. This is not about that. That's all artificial. That's the games they make us play. That's the ones that we play when we're blind and we don't know what's going on. What this really is about us versus them, meaning the elites versus all of us down here, the human batteries, the consumers that they use and abuse, right? That's what's going on here. And we've been made to think it's left versus right and all that other nonsense.
They want us fight, and we're weaker that way. A house divided can't stand, my brothers.
That's
I
right.
want to say this. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us, to be tuned to us. We are 1.9 thousand people. This is more than what the Kazakhstan brother are doing right now or something. Like, I don't know. Like, you guys are rocking. Thank you.
Yeah, man, we're beating the kicking ass of the Krasenstein brothers. That's
Well, and
excellent.
if I can just add, hey, if you're in the space, let's get some more people in the space. Share the space if you can.
Yep.
Just want to throw that in there.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
anybody you want to come and talk with us, women, anybody, we are welcoming. Come, we'll bring you up. No problem. If you have a little bit of issues and you're not sure, you can send a message in the chat, and I'll send you an invitation.
Does anybody else find it suspicious now? I just throwing this out there that we're having so many mosquito-borne illnesses. They're having the school closures. I saw a video earlier uh, about it on YouTube, and having school closures over the West Nile. We're having that triple E virus, the equine virus. Uh, and then there was another one I thought, but it's those two for sure, and they're closing schools down. And Bill Gates is a big mosquito
Yeah, he is. And
experimenter, right?
yeah, and what I mean, they let out thousands and tens of thousands of mosquitoes, right? I saw the
Yeah, yeah,
plane.
yeah. That's a
Well,
coincidence,
they're not just closing schools down. They're also fogging streets.
right? Right. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's a coincidence, right? Or am I just yet another like weird conspiracy theorist? I
Well,
guess I'll just be
and
I'm
what's
waiting for my
No,
conspiracy theorist patch.
and what's up?
Keir Starmer will call you a far right dog.
An election is coming.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
don't forget Dr. Fauci got the West Nile virus and is
yeah, I heard
hospitalized.
I'm
that.
surprised Dr. Fauci hasn't gotten the monkeypox.
Yeah.
Yet,
Exactly.
yet. He hasn't got it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what sanity is there to let a genie out of a bottle or a bunch of genetically engineered mosquitoes into the world? What could possibly go wrong with that?
That is a pure psychopathy. I mean, who the hell does shit like that?
Yeah,
Seriously.
well,
But he was talking about spraying shit to block out the sun too. He's like a serious supervillain. I mean, he's a mad freaking scientist supervillain. But
yeah,
I mean, he's a real life one.
yeah.
How about that? I mean, all of them are. Look at Klaus Schwab and the fucking dude in Brazil.
They
They
Oh, I
got
all
can't stand this guy.
Klaus Schwab has evil uniforms.
They all fucking. So does the dude in Brazil. They all look the part, man. It's like they're out of central fucking casting.
Oh, Baltimore? Yeah. This guy, like, he banned X. Like, we don't have anybody from Brazil tonight because of that.
Yeah. Simon Godek, like he exposed the Krasenstein brothers for being porn, like they had a bunch of porn sites for kids. They were like, teenagers and, naughty schoolgirls and shit. They had a bunch of sites for that and domain names and all that shit and a bunch of conspiracy shit. So one of his followers said, because he's in Simon Godek's in Brazil, and they, one of the Krasenstein freaking fangirls was like, "Hey, you're in Brazil, aren't you?" And she called attention to him,
Yeah.
and they're fining him like $9,000 a day or some shit for
So
using it.
Simon's response was, and I saw this earlier today. And I'll shut up afterwards. But Simon's response was that he is operating under international business law under his business. That's why he can retain access to X.
That's fantastic. Good.
So that was his response to that. I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to lean on that going forward, though. I mean, if they're able to
But
throw,
that was fucked up of that girl. I mean, seriously.
completely. It's. I mean, she literally she pretty much executed him, right? I mean,
typical lefty. It's anti-American commie.
Yeah.
Agenda. They don't care if you're not all in with them, you're their enemy.
Yep.
So his response was that he was operating as a business, and because of international business law and agreements with the Netherlands, he was able to retain his X access. I'm not sure how long that's gonna. Cut the mustard, right?
Right. Well, I mean, hell, I'm worried about an EMP and us not being able to talk to each other at all.
Yeah, right. That would blow the hell out of everything. That's my biggest worry is that we're gonna get blown the hell back into the Stone Age.
Well, they all survived. Like I said earlier, right? The cavemen survived it before they even invented the wheel. So I'm pretty sure we can get somewhere.
Real quick, I saw a thing. Now, if you can just vision this, I'm going to explain it really quick. Get 2 donut magnets, get a piece of PVC pipe that they fit over. Okay, then you coil copper wire around in between them and then have them where they're resisting. Put it, glue it all down on a base. And that resistance from the magnets, supposedly, I still have to test it, but hey, it sounds logical. The resistance from the magnets and the copper wire, if you put those into a outlet for a light bulb, when you push those magnets down together, it's supposed to work and light it up. I'm definitely gonna try it. It looked like it worked. And I'm gonna try it. I saw it on a TikTok video, and it was convincing enough to where I am definitely trying it. So if shit like that goes down, hey, get some magnets and copper wire.
Yeah, well, you there's shit out there like I definitely don't know about that one, but I know about the potato trick. You use galvanized nails and copper wire, and the more potatoes you put in a row, the more voltage you get, and you can actually charge your phone off that shit.
Yeah, anything will help. I mean, like this stuff's kind of crazy, but I mean, people out there get a solar charger if you can, a generator, anything. Because who knows what the hell's gonna go.
Yeah,
on.
one of the things that we got here is that I invested in a wood gasifier, which I'm going to probably try and fire up again in the spring. I might have to by necessity.
That's awesome.
But you put wood chips and stuff in there, and then you put it in the hopper, and then the gas coming off gets fed and cleaned through a filter, and then it goes out through a hose, and you feed that into the air intake in your generator, and it'll run without gasoline.
So basically, Truth, what you're saying is the exhaust coming out of the gasifier is basically caustic, right? I mean, you could light that stuff with a match.
Yeah,
and that's what you're putting into your motor.
Yeah, what it is called wood gas or coal gas, and much of China runs off of that, right? It's what they're doing is producing it off of coal or wood, and then what you do is you take the off gassing, you're doing it in an enclosed environment.
You cool it down, right?
Yeah,
is that correct?
You run it through a filter, basically, to get any goo out of it. That's the biggest thing, and you want it clean. And what's coming out is something essentially that's like there's methane in there and basically unburnt fuel. And so what you're doing is you've created a manufactured gas, which is a replacement for Because you can do the same thing with natural gas or propane gas as long as
And
you've got the right ratio.
you can run your standard take home generator off that, can't you?
Yeah, I can run a 9,000 watt generator off of it. And it's just a couple of 5-gallon buckets and shit, and some, a little hopper, and it's not that complicated.
Now, does that run out? Like, I mean, do you have to eventually put gas, or
feeding it with
Hey
more
guys,
wood
guys,
pellets?
we have someone that's listening here, Riz. Okay, Cats Love Boxes, and her title says Tetris taught me that if you fit in, you disappear. That is fucking powerful, girl. I love this. Thank you very much. Needed that.
Yep. Absolutely. I think you agree. We need to be disagreeable. But yeah, so this wood gasifier, it's really cool because as long as the trick is that you run it off of pellets. Now you got to have a way to manufacture pellets. And you can make a pellet maker, and you can use egg whites.
Do you have to run it off of pellets though, or can you run it off of chunks or something bigger?
I haven't experimented, but I did combustion for 20 years, and so I'm pretty sure that if you get the jiggling right and you get the hopper to feed right, we could probably run it off of sawdust, which is available at any sawmill, like by the pile.
Very nice.
Cheap. Well, we got where I live here. We got a sawmill, and like it's an old school one too, right? Just a little bit of generator, and we can still make wood and rebuild something. But if it's broken down, we don't have anything to fix it.
Well, the biggest problem.
Well, you think about what you're going to do when there's no gas at the pump, right?
Oh man,
and you think about what you're going to do with all your combustion motors. You've got generators.
Here's another one for you. Here's another one for you. Okay, now this one's really simple. The biggest trick is going to be you got to get an engine that doesn't have the electronics in it, so that if there is an EMP, it will still run, right? Like a diesel truck, and you can do electrical generation off that truck or a tractor or whatever that happens to be. But the trick is where do you get the fuel to run it? Well, you get a lot of plastic laying around. A lot of plastic, right? Any single plastic that has the right code on it, which is that thermoform plastic, like the bottles, your Folgers coffee cans, all that kind of crap, right? If you put it in an anaerobic environment, meaning you take a water heater, you take it, you saw the top of it off, right? And you throw that shit in there and you heat it from the bottom. You start a fire underneath it. And then what you do is you make an old-timey still, just like like when you're making moonshine, right? And you can condense it in like smaller propane tanks and stuff like that. And then what you do is you run it through a filter, and what's coming out is absolute pure diesel fuel. It'll run your truck. It'll run your tractor. Yes, absolutely. And then there's about 8 to 10% waste to the bottom. You got to scrape out every once in a while.
So
that's another thing. Everybody get a still, everyone listening, get a still.
Right. I've got a kind of newer diesel truck. It's one of these new eco diesels, right?
Yeah.
It's totally computer controlled. I mean, I put a new intake in it, new exhaust. It's all computers. Everything is computers.
Right.
So I've thought about how do you chop out the computers? You can't. In these new systems, you cannot, because everything is ECM driven. Everything is fuel injection and electronic fuel injection.
Right.
If you really want to avoid the computer situation, you have to go back to carbureted, don't you?
You do, or what you have to do is build a Faraday cage around your truck, and all you need to do is get a metal carport, right? And what you need to do is make sure that you build it and then you enclose it on both ends.
But there's computers. There's computers in the bay. There's computers in the cab. There's computers in the rear. I mean, it's all over the place.
I know. As long as it's in a Faraday cage and that thing is grounded, whatever will go completely around the truck and go down into the ground, just like lightning would. That's what's called a Faraday cage. The trick is, making it big enough to fit the truck in, but a carport's already built for you. Really, all you got to do is worry about the ends.
Oh, there you go. I see what you're saying. So park it in a Faraday cage.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I mean, so there's ways around it. I mean, you have to be clever about how you open and close the end and whatever, but you have to do some thinking, you can do it. Yeah. There's ways. Where there's a will, there's a way, man.
Well, I think alternate fuels. We really need to start thinking about alternate fuels, alternate energy sources. What are you going to do if you're the man of the house and you need to provide for your family no gas, no natural gas, no electricity situation?
Well, that's a very real possibility.
the wood gas is World War II technology that was around when they were worried about not being able to have enough fuel, right? And so what happened was they literally strapped garbage cans and made these wood gasifiers and strapped them to tractors and ran tractors off of them. Okay, and then what happened was when fuel became more cheaper and more reliable, it kind of went away. The technology was partially lost. Then we had the fuel crisis with Carter, the 70s, all that stuff. There was renewed interest. It came back. And so, but you can get a wood gasification Bible out there, and it got all the plans to make your own one. And you can run, like I said, anything off of it as long as the electronics haven't been fried by the blast or whatever.
Yeah.
Do we envision some kind of an open topic for other speakers? Is there a risk of some kind of attack? Do we think that is something that may occur, some kind of false flag here before
That's
the
kind of what I heard.
election, or
That's kind of what I heard on the 7th for the 7th.
Eh,
That's what I heard.
I got some news
Yeah.
here for I wanna update some news on this
Yeah.
Brazilian thing. Elon Musk posted 2 minutes ago. There's a growing evidence that fake judge Alexander engaged in serious, repeated, and deliberate election interference in Brazil last presidential. I'm sorry to say that it appears that some Twitter employees were complicit in helping him to do so. Anyone with example or evidence to this effect, please reply to this post. So Elon Musk is literally like investigating on his side, and now appears that his own
He's
employees, he's coming out about his own employees.
Wow.
he's got a whole X page
Yeah,
dedicated to the Brazilian judge.
yeah.
I'm looking for it right now for the name.
Sorry to cut you guys off, but I
well,
think it was like breaking
No,
news.
you're good.
He gave all of Brazil, I think, free Starlink until they
Yes,
can get the financial situation resolved.
you're correct because their bank account has been frozen by the Brazilian government. He says that Brazilian will keep their service for free until they can pay again. And there will not be any extra charges.
That's
They're getting it
amazing.
for free.
Well, thank God for Elon Musk. I mean, we wouldn't be able to talk. I mean, none of us would know anything at all right now. We'd be in the dark.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why, like sometimes, hey, breaking news, there's an update. Not that you hear it first, but I think it's important to speak about free
Yeah.
speech, and that he's advocating. Oh, look, I have an employee of Twitter that were wrong, so here I'm going to speak out. He's not saying Twitter or X or anything, right? Well, he said Twitter,
It's X,
former
but I mean,
Twitter.
you can call it whatever you want.
No, but he said
We
former
won't be.
Twitter employee, so that means that probably means that it
Oh,
wasn't
must have been. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Went
not
back
an
when it was.
yeah,
I
not
don't
an
know.
ex-employee, but the one he fired, probably. Yeah.
Did anyone see the New York Times thing? The Constitution is sacred. Is it also dangerous?
Oh,
One of the
my
biggest threats to America's politics might be the country's founding document. New York Times, Critics Notebook.
I did see that, and in my opinion, the New York Times should get
Uh,
all of their press badges removed as a result. But
That's
anyway,
amazing.
Well, this
I
is
can't even believe
yeah,
that's.
yeah. They can give their press badges to me and Tim here and Joshua.
I'll tell you
We'll
what.
take
Yeah,
it.
what the hell? I mean, wait, we're delivering more news and the
Yeah,
little time we've been talking. Then
yeah,
shit, I don't even watch news anymore.
No, I mean it's completely worthless. What that paper has become is pretty much this, right?
Yeah. If there was any time that the news media was so even during, I don't know if you guys remember during the impeachment of Bill Clinton, I don't even think the media was as
No,
biased as it is now. They become so biased
No.
that they hate the right so much.
no, you
Well,
know
look,
what? The
if
worst
they would
one
have
is
hated
Fox.
if they
The
would have
worst.
hated on Bill Clinton as much, Hillary Clinton would have been decimated.
Yeah. Well,
it's creating an entire new part of the news, in my opinion. I mean, you're looking at user created news, you're looking at spaces, you're looking at YouTube creators, or I should say, actually Rumble creators now.
Yeah.
That space is starting to increase. So I'm
And
just telling you, they're literally creating a new market for us by doing that.
well, and let
well,
me tell you
Fox.
what.
Yeah.
Mhm. No, go ahead.
Fox News is the worst one, I feel like, because I mean, at least hell, CNN, MSNBC, all those fuckers, they act like they tell us they hate us. Fox News acts like they're our fucking friend, But then,
Correct.
I started realizing it's like, whoa, what the hell? And, I like Gutfeld. He's funny. Uh, but I don't really watch him for news.
All I can say is stay away from mainstream media. I just want to leave that there. Stay away from CBS, NBC, MSDNC, Fox News. Stay away
Yeah,
from all of
all of
them.
them.
User
Watching,
and
watch.
user created media is the future.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, it
It's
is. You're absolutely right. And I'll tell you right now, at Fox News, what you don't know is that they have to allow trannies in the bathrooms at Fox News. There's BlackRock money
Mhm.
over there. They're part of the whole DEI initiative and all that shit. But that yet you don't see that on the surface, right? And you got some of these news folks over there. I can't remember which one, the Shannon Bream, I think, or whatever, just
yeah.
ogling over Hillary Clinton, right? Over there. I think it's Shannon Bream. I mean, so yeah, it's a bunch of trash. Now we got to watch it so that we can inform you of what the hell they're saying over there. But yeah, leave it to the
I hope
professionals.
I'm not your DEI area.
What was the guy's? What the hell? It's the guy that looks like a fucking garden gnome. He's the one that called Arizona for Biden in 2020.
Yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I forget his name.
Maricopa was garbage.
Dude with tiny pinhole fucking eyes. Yeah, I don't like Fox at all. They're the worst one as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Well,
because
Fox were
they're
the
not
first ones in
honest.
2020. Fox were the first ones in 2020 to call the election for Arizona. If you don't
Yeah, yeah,
recall.
yeah. Yep.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, and you're right. The movement is here, and it is user created news. It is the organic flow of news. It's news that flows like water. It's news that travels because people want to spread it. People want to be part of this. And I think the greatest thing is that they're sensing that they're involved in something bigger than themselves, which they are. You are. All of us are.
Well, this has grown. It's grown by 1,100 since I've been in here. So
Yeah, it's
Well, it's going by what since I joined in. I was the first one to join in. Yeah.
yeah, it's
well,
going.
no, yeah.
It's going crazy, and what's crazy is that I cross wired it with the live stream that we've got 2,000 people, and
So yeah.
and so I think the cross wiring of the two things works very very nicely.
Well, yeah, because it limit the users in the space here, so we don't have a lot of people listening into the space. So we have a really good connectivity with our speakers, and the 2,000 people are actually watching you live
Yeah.
and listening to us. So that's why like we're not getting any problem with the stream actually, which is the genius thing to do. Hopefully, like for now, it's going to be good like this. We might have issues in the future. We don't know where the future is going to lead us. But no, man, it's amazing. Like there is no other place right now, and that Twitter was not $44 billion. Freedom of speech was $44 billion and counting.
Yeah,
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
he's still
What I
losing
do
money,
with
right?
1 billion.
Well, it's just look how much money he spent, already in lawsuits, how much he's like he took from buying Twitter, he literally took time away from SpaceX and Tesla and all of his other
Well, that's
companies.
kind of like
Yeah,
Trump with the president. He didn't have to
Yeah.
do that. You
No, he
know.
could be
exactly.
playing golf on his own golf club,
Listen, I
golf
would
course.
enjoy my golden years. I would enjoy my golden years laid down on the beach with a
Then getting
margarita or
shot at.
with a Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
Listen,
shit, man. I
I
wouldn't.
would have been
He's a
enjoying my life.
he's like a
Like
saint, man. You
look,
know.
any smart person other than Trump, after being shot at, would probably said, you know what, screw it, and that's what I've been saying to people. Like, I don't care what they want to say about Kamala Harris passing this and that. Donald Trump, how many families does he feed on a daily basis? How many paycheck does he sign? Has a company, his kids, they're on both, like they're great kids. Well, Kamala Harris, what does she's got to say? That she puts people behind bars. Wow, you feed how many families? No, you take fathers away from their kids because you wanted to get to presidency. I'm sorry, I'll
But
just say
you
it.
know,
Well, I would just say that Donald Trump is going to be remembered, I think, for a
I,
very, very, very long time as a result of his policies, and that's just in the 4 years that he already served.
I mean, I envision another 4 years, and those will be epic, right?
Well,
The feds.
everybody listening, seriously, the time we're living in right now. I mean, if the Lord don't come back, I mean, if we somehow squeak by and Trump gets in and everything improves and everything looks up, I mean, be careful still. But
Now, hold on.
if everything squeaks by, you know,
The
there's going
last
to be
one,
stories told about this time. So
the last time the Lord was here, he got crucified on a cross. If Lord
Mhm.
was here today, he would be taken to to a sacred place and be analyzed by scientists and tested on. So
Mhm.
listen to your ear, open your eyes,
No,
and
he would
truly
be
you will.
taken to jail by the Democrats. To be
yeah,
Oh,
honest,
but
it's yeah. They would have found. I mean,
he
that's
would have gotten impeached just for being Jesus Christ.
I'm wondering about the
There you
two
right?
go.
witnesses. What's gonna what the only way we're gonna hear about the two witnesses are
What
when
was
Listen,
Howard? You can just take the mic when you
over
want.
X.
listen, gentlemen. I'm fluent in 5 languages, but Spanish is it really has my heart, even though I'm not of Latino descent. But I was actually traveling this year, and I spent about 4 months in Argentina, and it's a global agenda. Honestly, when they talk about 2030 agenda, it's a global agenda because we're living in times, even here in the US, where if you say you are a woman but you are a man, you clearly have your Adam's apple and you are a man, you have to say you're a woman. If not, you're punished. A person is punished for hate speech. That's going on
Well,
in
they're
Argentina. That's going on in Mexico. That's going on worldwide.
Ireland,
So I believe it's a
Ireland
demonic agenda.
for sure, absolutely 100%.
Well,
Well,
I think it's up to us, right? And I see some hands here, but I think it's up to us to kind of refute that and not accept it. I mean, Josh was here talking about saying that if you have an Adam's apple, or if you don't have an Adam's apple or presented as a woman, you have to say you're a woman. I don't agree with that. I think that we need to refute that, and I think that
Oh, I
that
don't.
person that's a man. You have an X chromosome or XY and XX. Those are the two options.
Absolutely, I agree.
I mock these people, man. These people need to be mocked and made fun of. Make bullying great again. How about that?
yeah, there you
Like,
Listen,
go.
I
Yeah.
do it anytime I can. I saw a video of a mom who went to a school. She went to a school reunion or a school meeting, and she was dressed like a cat. She's like, because I look like a cat. Mind you, this woman was a very hot mother. But anyway, she she was saying she was dressed like a
yeah,
cat with ears and a
I
tail, and
saw that
she's like,
video.
"You saw that?" She's like, "Just because I say I'm a cat doesn't mean I am. You're gonna think
That's
I'm ridiculous."
crazy.
She made the cat outfit look good for
I
sure.
mean, yes, she did. She absolutely did. But her point was so spot on because honestly, just because it looks like a cat, doesn't mean it's a cat.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, she did the
hilarious,
meow
man.
and everything.
Catwoman, hilarious.
Right? Like, what are they going to drive us to accept?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Well,
it's
Alex Stein does a bunch of great shit.
oh
He
yeah,
does it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alex Stein's awesome. He,
I just want to point out, Howard. I see your hand is raised. You can just, open the mic and speak with just open mic right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just so listen, guys. Before you guys go on, I was up till 3:30 in the morning doing spaces. I've been interfacing with people all day. I am absolutely wiped out. I don't want to leave. But I can't do it anymore. So I'm gonna leave the spaces open. I'm gonna mute my mics over here. I don't know how to get the hell out, but I'm going to bed and for the night. Thank you everyone for being here. You made this a very special night for me. I am honored to have had you all here. And God, you all made this so wonderful and so
Well,
successful. And so I'm grateful to you all.
yeah, truth.
Tim, let's just call it a day. And I think Josh was heading home back to. So if we have Josh going to Aurora tomorrow, we can just come back. Just thank everybody because I'm tired too and I need to sleep. Right,
Yeah,
we've
I
been
mean,
at it for a few
we
hours.
gotta get
Absolutely.
rest.
It's
Thanks,
11:11
everyone.
here.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to get up and do this all over again tomorrow, guys. Right? You understand? I
What
mean,
time tomorrow?
heck, I don't know. I mean,
Let's just go to sleep and first that wakes up and that
Yeah.
get ready.
I live stream church. Okay, just go to the page and you'll see. I can't figure out how to put up something so that people see that it's coming, like going to be on at 1 o'clock. But we're going to have church. Just keep watch for it. I'm going through Matthew. I'm going to be preaching on the Sermon on the Mount, right? You're going to continue preaching through the Sermon on the Mount. And so if you want to be there, that'd be really cool. And, you know, we just went, the more, I just keep getting sucked more and more and more into this, right? Into this project. And it's just like, we just keep going live and people can't get enough of it, right? So it's awesome.
But I guess we have to say stop at some point and go get some rest and think about ourselves too.
Yes, we
If
do.
we want to be able to give the truth in
Yeah,
a good, proper, with a clean brain.
I'm gonna flop
I
into my
just want to really
keyboard.
say thank you very much, everyone, for being here. 2,168 viewers on Tim's broadcast here. A bunch of people come in and speak. I loved it. You guys have been amazing. Joshua, nice to meet you. We will
Likewise.
talk longer. Tomorrow we'll be ready and sharp for for you there. And thank you very much for everything. Like, people believe there is good, be the good, and the truth will set you free. That's all.
There you go. Good note to
for
end
sure.
on, guys. Anybody got any last? If you don't mind, I would like to say a quick prayer, and then I'm going to end this thing. Right, Heavenly Father, we
Yeah.
thank you for bringing us all together, Lord, that we might come to agreement that we're in trouble. We're in trouble as a nation, and that we need to be looking at our own selves, deep inside ourselves, and that we all yearn for personal holiness. And that if we all continue to do that and spread that message, that we may have a corporate revival, where as a nation we come to seek you in sackcloth and ashes, that you might heal our land. So I ask that you look over all of the people that were in this space, that they might go forth and do their part, and keep them strong and build a hedge of protection around them, that they might fight the good fight for you. We pray these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
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 Everybody, stay
Amen.
safe. Good night.
Good night,
Amen. Good
all.
night.
Hey, it was a pleasure, everyone. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Good night, all.
Thank you, everyone.
That's a wrap. Good night, guys. I'm turning in. It's Truthslinger. I'm out of here.